Yeah, no, because that was the day he kept calling me the smart guy. I mean, listen, put some spec on my name.
You are the smart guy, man.
No. That's a child.
Y'all look alike, man. What do you want me to do?
Small child. Recently, I did see that dude's like an executive producer of one of them new shows.
Yeah, Taj. What's his name? Taj
Mowry.
Yeah, Mowry. There you go.
Yep.
Oh, that was their real little brother?
Yeah.
Looking like pass me by.
What's good though, man? How was the week?
Hey, it was the first week back at work, so I hated that shit.
You actually went?
I did. And I thought of every single way not to go to work, which I'm thinking of a way tonight to not go to work, to be off tomorrow, to be off the next day. You heard it here. I don't care if you're here anywhere else. I won't be there tomorrow.
Flat out.
I won't be there tomorrow.
And
Monday.
Right.
So we outside tomorrow.
Thursday. So you're not going to be there Friday.
Back suspend me.
So we outside tomorrow.
Nah, I'm going to church tomorrow, man. Everybody going to be doing hedonistic shit, and sinning and drinking and enjoying the fruits of life and all this stuff.
What makes you think everybody doing that? Oh, because of Valentine's Day?
Because of Super Bowl.
Oh, the Super Bowl.
Look where your mind go.
I'm going to church to praise white Jesus.
Man, it is under 20 degrees. I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, that's my week, though. I'm good.
The Super Bowl. Okay. All right. What's up with you, brother?
Man, obviously getting back from out of town, man. Big shout out, real talk though, Curtis Beals, man. Curtis pulled up and definitely filled this chair very well. I'm going to give you your proper props, sir.
Sure.
Like, I definitely was concerned that whoever they had fill in was just not going to meet the educational prowess required, the intellectual capacity. It's limited around these parts. So,
wow, he's definitely talking about the rest of the world.
To have someone,
back here.
someone really, of the fabric of your future, also a fellow educator. So I thought that
and
played
your dark-skinned
very well.
brother too.
But no, it was I thought y'all had a really great conversation last week.
That was the first week I felt I had somebody on my team, another dark skinned brother. I feel overwhelmed up here with you light skinned and you big motherfuckers.
Yeah, it was actually interesting watching. It was interesting watching the show after this long. The last time I wasn't on the show, we were still on Zoom.
It was a long
when
time,
Q filled in, we were still on Zoom. So it was interesting watching the format of the show without me in it.
Did you learn something?
No, y'all are definitely not that captivating. But
we look good though.
But real talk though, and we can get back into this in a minute. But the Black History Month segment, y'all went to another level with that. That was really dope. I mean, it was mostly Curtis, but y'all definitely,
the shade tree shit.
And following
shade tree that's growing right here next to me.
Yeah, I had 2 weeks of smoke to get off, so it's just gonna go up from here. But at the end of the day, I will say this about my week, man. On the educational tip, dude, like we're covering the criminal justice system, and we're getting into this part about the juvenile criminal justice system. And one of the topics of one of the case studies we got into is Khalif Browder. And it's really interesting, man. It's really hard to put your finger on what these young people really want and like what they really are interested in and engaged in. And I've been trying this and trying that and going back from social media to freedom of speech and just all of these different things. And I'm thinking like y'all are into this. But when we got to this Khalif Browder piece, man, I saw these kids lock in and like really start to connect with like, man, this is what's going on out here. So, and I say that too because we are in Black History Month, and it's people like Khalif Browder, it's people like Mike Brown, it's people like, it's these names that we we forget to celebrate during Black History Month because, and you all had an excellent conversation about like the purpose, the necessity or the non-necessity and the messaging behind Black History Month. So, yeah, I just want to say that, man. Like, it's been a really interesting week as a teacher, kind of engaging with students in that way with this material. But.
Dope. Yeah, my week was actually pretty decent, man. To be honest with you.
How was your week, bro?
Oh, thanks for asking.
Cool.
Yeah, I think I did a great job putting the team together, man. Finding the right person to sit in this seat, right? Because everybody can't fill your shoes. And again, it wasn't about filling your shoes, but it was about making sure that the conversation is fluid. Right, and it flowed. And I think I accomplished that, man. So shout out to me. I'm a great GM and owner.
Before I'm gonna let you finish taking credit for some shit that you get half credit for. Wow, I'm gonna let you finish. Y'all do remember this, right? When we had our early meeting back in the day, I said, man, we really need to get Curtis on the show. And y'all was like, nah, man, he don't really want to be on camera, man.
I do drugs.
Curtis don't really want to. He don't want. I was like, man, he's doing the Bills report. I was like, we might as well just have him film the Bills report, and then we cut that in instead of it just being.
Yeah, we actually did that. But he didn't like it.
But
good idea.
But Kurt, you saw it. You saw. Well, you haven't.
No,
seen
he's
it
here.
It's
He's here now. He can't wait.
Yeah. Wait, he moved back.
No. But he's willing to come back every Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, y'all gonna need that soon.
I'll tell you what,
I'm gonna be taking more days off. I'm
gonna leave it here. That entire day was an episode. That's it.
Yeah. It was a good time. It was a good time.
Good day.
All right, man. As usual, we got to start in Chicago because we are Chicago, man. We are the streets. I'm gonna start out west though, and holler at my boy Abasi about this black-owned grocery store coming to the west side. They won a $2.5 million city grant, which is awesome.
Tremendous.
Fresh food for the community.
You know what's wild about that? Well, okay, let me name drop them first. 40 Acres Fresh Market.
Oh yeah, 40
you know
acres.
Saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
so it's really located really close to
right?
I can't remember.
I think it's a sister because she used to do like food delivery. Like she used to actually like go to the store. They've been doing pop-ups for
a while. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. You know what I'm saying? I've been a busy guy for a long time in my life, so I don't know. Kudos to her for doing it if she did do that. It's located near a west side, landmark, Coleman's Barbecue. All right, it's
Chicago
just down
Avenue.
the street and a little east, man. It used to be a Salvation Army, but they're transforming it and rebuilding that into 40 Acres Fresh Market. And I go back to my childhood. I hearken
5713 West Chicago.
My childhood, and I can remember walking 2 blocks west, 2 blocks south, 2 more blocks west, and having a Buddy Bear's grocery store. You had to be old to remember Buddy Bear's grocery store. You see the car washes now,
or you had to go out west for some reason.
The next alley. It was a Jewels with an S. Not fuck Jewel. Jewels. You know what I'm saying? It was a Jewels right there. So we had grocery stores. And just think about over time how so many places in the urban communities have become food deserts. Absolute food deserts. When I see people buying groceries and produce and, meat and cheese and all this shit and dairy from gas stations and shit like that, I'm looking like, Joe, what the fuck have we come to? You know what I'm saying? So them bringing this back into an urban community, much like they brought the Mariano's to Inglewood by the new Kennedy King. I think it was Whole Foods.
No, I think it is a Whole Foods.
You know what I'm saying? By the Kennedy King. Yeah. I'm glad they brought this into this area, man, because we need it. We deserve it, man. We hard working as well.
It's owner Elizabeth Abu. No, is it Abnu? Abna? Abu. And then NAW.
That's my cousin.
Abu Na, I guess.
Abu Na, okay. So Elizabeth Abu now, she also launched a weekly indoor pop-up series in the building. So yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say we did I was teaching an entrepreneurship class. We did a case study on what she did was she kind of like what Dion was doing or is doing, but she had access to like a local farm. So she was doing like 2 things. She was trying to teach people in urban areas to grow their own food. But then on the food that they were growing, people would sign up for a box of fresh produce, and she would deliver it to their houses. And this grocery store, she got this grant about 2 years ago. So this development has been in the making for a minute.
Right.
Yeah,
so in that same space, man, let's pay these bills.
Cool, sisters, thank you.
I need y'all to be quiet while we pay these bills. Food insecurity and hunger is projected to affect millions of Chicago residents this year. Dion's Chicago Dream is fighting food issues throughout Chicagoland. With its Dream Deliveries program, the Dream Team is stabilizing access and quality. To learn more and donate, visit www.dionschicagodream.com or search at Dion's Chicago Dream on all social media platforms. Again, that's www.dionschicagodream.com or search at Dion's Chicago Dream, again with an S, on all social media platforms. Feed families, create community, and fuel hope.
It was all a dream.
Shout out to Dion, man, once again. Week after week, man. You the man, man. Still steady putting up numbers, man. He got some big things popping, man. Just proud to be a part of his movement.
No, definitely, man. It's definitely gonna look like some outdoor events coming up once the weather starts to break. Then we can partner up on that, man. So,
yeah, for sure.
Facts.
Also in Chicago, what we have happening, we have the largest Latin raggaeton music fest in Grant Park. How do y'all feel about that? Where y'all at with that?
Go ahead and tear this bitch up again. Tear it up.
Told you he was gonna say
tear it the fuck up.
Outlandish.
You know what I'm saying? What do you think about the last time they had any festival here? Bro, they leave the park districts. I made the people that attend. No ethnicity involved, no gender involved. But the artists on stage doing what the fuck they do. Bring energy.
We got J Balvin.
I don't give a fuck about that.
We got Ozuna.
I don't give a fuck about that either.
Okay.
Let's go. Say another name. I care less about the next name.
Those are the headlines.
Yes.
Okay, this is May 28th and 29th.
He's
a big deal.
Reggaeton. Yeah.
He's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? But just think about the money we have our taxes go to the restoration of the damaged park.
No, that's
property.
a part of the contract. It is. I swear to God, it's a part of the contract. When you
talk to him, bossy.
When you rent. All right, my bad. Go ahead.
I'm trying to tell this man what happened last time. The big fight when Rolling Loud came through Chicago.
Right.
And they tore up Humble Park and another park, and they wouldn't pay. The city had to sue these motherfuckers.
Oh, well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
It
is in the contract, though, that any destruction is supposed to be the festival. It's not. It's not from us.
You got to chase these cats down. But I'm saying, well, the city. If the city don't do it while they're waiting, guess what money they use to do that?
I mean, yeah, I'm not arguing that part.
But I hope they have a good time. Just whatever you do, man. We just hope that you guys do it. I say the police department, we as a community of Chicago, because when you get festivals these big, not only Chicagoans attend, they come from all over. New York, Florida, California, everywhere to participate and have fun, which you should, and it's all good, man. Just, hey, do it in a non-violent way. Enjoy. Get the fuck out of here.
I think it's interesting that they didn't do a hip-hop situation. It's probably off the heels of what's your boy from Houston, man. What's the dude, man? I don't listen to his shit.
Who?
A couple people got killed at his festival out there.
Travis Scott.
Travis Scott.
Oh, Astro World guy.
Yeah, that's different. Travis Scott's crowd is like.
Well, I'm saying that's why they probably didn't go to hip hop way. Like, okay, fine, let's do this.
No, that's not why you don't.
I don't know.
One, there's hip hop concerts in Chicago all summer long, all the time. Outside.
Not as big as this.
Like there's festivals on.
Not as big as this.
What's the one in Douglas Park every summer?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there's
a couple hundred people.
Lyrical Lemonade now. There's
Lemonade's for sure.
There's definitely.
Are they comparative size wise though, Paul?
I don't think so. I don't know. Like so, when you're measuring the size of a music festival, you're generally measuring the number of people that attend over. So if it's one day. Or if it's over the course of the weekend. So Lollapalooza generally does somewhere between like 1.5 and 3 million people in 3 days.
Right.
No. I'm sorry. Huge. They do about 1.5 million over the course of 3 days, right? So they'll do like 700,000 one day, 500,000 another day, whatever the case may be.
Right.
Something like Summerfest in Milwaukee, we're probably at around like 85 to 95,000 a day. Right. So over the course of the full 9 days, you're at, about 900,000 to 1 million people.
Okay.
So it depends on how many people are actually coming to the show is how you measure it.
Well, you do know that, not you, but as a show, the listeners, you do know that about the time Chief Keef hit the scene and they were still doing concerts, these concerts became spaces where there would be op hunting season.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's what's currently going on.
And the city said, no, thank you. We're
so
not going to do
you're
that.
more likely to see a hip hop concert from an artist that's not from Chicago.
So who gang bang more? The black or the brown?
That's equal.
It's gonna go down.
I mean,
that's equal. That's more of an issue you have to worry
that's
about.
who gang bang the most. The blue.
That's the issue you have to worry about when they start gentrifying those neighborhoods concerning the black and the brown. Then you'll have to think about it then. But as far as music concerts, who gives a fuck?
No, but it's a real thing. And what's interesting is we had a young guy come to class to talk to some students. The art teacher invited young Chicago rapper and his team to talk to the kids about the music business. And, the kids was like, yo, can you freestyle? And so he goes on his freestyle and, he not realizing or he not
talking to kids. He start picking people
off.
Not
connecting. Right, exactly, right? So he goes on his little 16, you know what I'm saying?
I fucked your bitch.
And I killed all the people and all that. And so, the kid's like, oh. So, I asked my question. I said, well, listen, man, this is a really important conversation because there's a lot of pressure being put on Chicago drill rappers. Like I used to book bands for a living, right? And anytime we booked a King Louie or anytime we booked a Dirk's cousin or whatever, anytime there was some body whose name was in the police radar, right, related to these kind of local beefs, we would get a phone call that we can't do that show. And so I was like, so how do you reconcile the fact that the way you phrased all that was creative. Your delivery was creative. So from an artistic standpoint, that was dope. But you didn't actually shoot nobody last night, like you just said. Like you didn't actually kill 6 people last week, like you just said, right?
No, over a month.
And I was like, so how do you reconcile the creativity versus the message when it's also affecting your ability to get it back? And
right.
He wasn't expecting that question. But I think that's what I'm saying is the reason you're not going to see a Chicago local hip hop concert is exactly what Abasi said. Is op hunting. Everybody's going to be looking for an opportunity to.
I wouldn't even want to do a local show. I mean, I'm talking like your big.
Yeah,
people miss their home. Big home. Dirk, I miss home. Yeah. But in Atlanta, he ain't never coming back.
Perform. He can't. They won't let him perform in Chicago.
We got
jam because it's an indoor facility and they have security around that. You can't do anything outdoor.
Do we have hip hop cops in Chicago?
I don't even know what that
really
means.
Absolutely.
You never heard of it?
They scour social media.
No. Like,
they scour social media and do all that. But let me ask y'all a question though, real quick. You brought that up, drill music, and now drill started here. It's migrated. It's in New York heavy now. A certain DJ started this, and I don't know if I agree with it or not because I don't think it helps. I think certain pressure put on the DJ, he'll do what the fuck he says he's not going to do. He said he respects drill music, that culture, but he won't support it or play it on his show if y'all keep dying. I'm like, fam,
I like that.
That's nice. That's nice as hell. But if your company say, fam, play this or get the fuck out, what you gonna do?
He gonna get the fuck out.
I love to see him pay his bills.
I mean, let's be honest, man. These radio.
Is he a radio DJ?
Let me tell you something. Right, they not making.
Is he a radio DJ?
I'm not sure. He's a DJ. He could be a party DJ.
Right, radio DJs.
But if drill is hot now, and you want to play drill. If you got a drill crowd, my fault, bro. You got a drill crowd, which a lot of that shit now is drill crowd. Pop Smoke was they main hitter. He's gone now. They keep that out there too, but and you not playing what they want to hear at a party, fam, your name gonna get put in the mud. You a DJ, you know how DJs can get rise or fall.
And I'm telling you 1,000% to his point. I get phone calls all the time. Hey, my 17-year-old daughter wants to have a party. I know you a DJ. Nope, I'm gonna pass that on to the next man who gonna play that shit. I'm not playing it.
So how you gonna pay his bills?
I mean, shit, I still found a way to pay mine. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, you have to make that value judgment as yourself.
Right.
And number one, if you only out here at a certain age surviving as a DJ, you need to check your life. That's one. Unless you touring. Like the only people that are making real money as a DJ are touring DJs.
Damn.
You know, Kid Capri gets paid $3,000-$4,000 to do a 60-minute set, right? If you getting paid to tour as a DJ, that's a different standard. And yeah, people like Kid Capri though, you don't go to see Kid Capri because you want to hear drill rap, right? He might throw a couple of bars in there, but that's not why you go see Kid Capri. But that's my point. My point is working for a radio station, that's not your real main money maker. If you work at a radio station as a DJ, that's your
it builds your name,
job.
right?
Yeah, that's your celebrity job.
Yeah.
Nah. You better stop playing.
Hey, do we care that the Jayne Byrne interchange is supposed to be done?
We got to talk about it, bro.
No, I just want to know.
We care.
I think they lie.
Remind me, they be using all the real names. I use the numbers.
290 to 94.
90, 94.
All that.
So where the loop is. The loop.
Yeah.
The loop is the Jayne Byrne interchange. And so what are they doing?
I mean, it's supposed to be done in December of this year, but they've been working on it for 10 years.
I definitely don't think that's real. I think the funniest part about that shit, me and Bossy was rolling one time, and as you're coming like south on 94, right? There's two signs, and it's supposed to be the one for you to go to Roosevelt, the one for you to go to 290 West, and the one for you to go to IDP
It'll send you off.
Well, it says exit closed on all of those signs. And so, but people be driving straight, and then you get to a point where you're like, it still says exit closed, but then you looking and the road is completely open. So it's like, a boss was like, oh yeah, somebody gonna kill themselves on this.
Somebody gonna die tonight.
Yeah. And my Uber driver did the same stuff. So yeah, it's I definitely don't think it's gonna be done anytime in the near. I think I was 60.
Right. I'm not even looking for it.
Hey, we got a guy named Shermann Dilla Thomas. Man. He is a Chicago historian, and he's been killing the game on TikTok. We talked about him inking a deal with Netflix. Friend of the show, he's definitely coming on. He has a show, a TV special coming on WCIU in reference to what he does in Chicago Black history. Just want to give kudos to him and shout out to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's his name?
Shout out.
Shermann Dilla.
Shermann Dilla.
How many Shermans do we fucking know?
Thomas. A few. Sherman. Fuck out of here.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, look. They finally gave your boy Lovie Smith a job.
Oh, he hadn't been working? I didn't know that.
Well, I mean,
head coaching
job. He was, but I think he may have got fired.
He moved up. Yeah, he left Illinois for whatever reason, or moved on from them, or they moved on from him. And he was on Houston staff, I believe. Just not the head coach. So he moved up to a team with no quarterback, no running back, no defensive side, no offensive line.
That's right on the heels of this suit. That's right on the heels of this suit. So is this just a play?
Thing?
Yeah, Sean Watson's squad.
Oh, you're talking about the black coach. Actually, now that you say that, yeah, that's probably, think about it, because nobody wanted that job. You're right.
There's nothing there, bro. Yeah, I mean, so this is a situation of it happened in the NBA as well. These minority coaches get opportunities at teams that don't have a fucking shot at winning. I'm done talking about it.
Yes, but I will say though that, and y'all talked a lot about it last week, so I'm not going to drag it out. But it is a really interesting thing. Is like, if I'm Lovie Smith, right? It's like, do I turn this down simply because I think it's a PR play? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or do I take it, and if nobody expects me to win, then I can't do worse. And if I do end up winning, then kudos to me, and I can kick down some more doors. So yeah, shout out to Lovie, man. We got love for you for that 1 year that we made it to the Super Bowl, and fucked it up.
Rex Grossman blew it.
So what's your thoughts on Byron Allen deciding to buy or put his bid in to buy the Broncos?
I think that's exactly what has to happen for us to stop having this conversation about black coaches not being hired. At the end of the day, when Ozzie Newsome became the first GM in Baltimore with the Ravens, everybody was like, it was the same thing like when Obama became president. You know, the day after Obama got elected president, I did a show. We did a TV show.
That seems to happen often.
And and you know, I was on the panel with like a reverend, older guy.
How do you keep getting on all these panels, man? Who knows you, man?
Stop, man.
No, you're not gonna walk down that rabbit hole with me.
Not even a little bit. Fuck. A sister who we wouldn't be in this room if people didn't know.
Oh, here you go. Here you go.
But a sister who was like a psychologist, you know, and these were all older black folks who saw the last end of the civil rights struggle in a way that was really impactful for them, right? So, you know, all of their comments were like, you know, and the world has finally changed and just everything's going to be better. And I was the last one to speak. And I was like, I had braids.
The one like this, though, he braids luscious.
And,
juices and berries in these braids.
I had to pause. I was just like,
I
was just like, man, this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion considering what I've heard. I was like, but I am not convinced that shit's going to change at all. Right. Like, we just have a new potential figurehead to look at, but this is still the United States of America.
He was the Jackie Robinson of the government, bro.
Same politics that it's always been. Kids might see a black president and feel a little bit cooler, but absolutely, I'm not convinced it's going to change. So when Ozzie Newsome became the first black GM, it was the same response. Oh, it's going to change. We're going to have a black-owned team. That was 20 fucking years ago. Yeah. So until you own it, then you can't expect no change. Period.
Maybe that's why Robert F. Smith, the billionaire, decided to back out. Like, nah, I'm cool on that.
Oh, no.
Okay, man. Just
because it's a get-along gang, right? He would be the only black owner amongst the rest of the owners. And they're still not going to let him in, no matter how much money he got. He's classified as the black billionaire.
He is, yeah.
It's called steps. You got to take steps, man. Once you get in, if he happens to get the team, he'd have to do things to make sure that team is solely his. Once the team is solely his, bro, then he can move a different way. It don't matter if he's the only black NFL owner out of the 32 teams. I think it's 32 teams or whatever. I don't give a fuck.
It is. It's 32.
But with Byron Allen and Mr. Smith as well, if you can afford it, why not ignore that shit? Why ignore it? Why not just go for it and see if you can do it, man? Because now it's more documentation that this league don't want us to play. They won't say this team. You won't hire us as head coaches. You won't have us as offensive coordinators. GMs.
Well, you have to get a long
like
list
that,
of approvals. You need mayor's approvals in this city. You need, you know what I mean? Like, you need a lot of people.
I'm just bypassing all that because a lot of people don't even know these steps. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying you have to get in first. If you can ascend to the top and actually get a team and have majority ownership or just actually own that motherfucker, you'd be fine. But you got to get there first. So, I mean, what would it hurt to put your name in a hat to see if it gets picked out? It wouldn't hurt. I mean, because you already, like you said, you already know where the league stands at. They don't want you there.
Well, there's one other thing, and I saw this recently, and this kind of we talk about the wealth gap. You talk about the opportunities, right? The NFL did not become the financial entity that it is until just about maybe 20 years ago. Like, it was that Joe Montana era in the late 80s that turned the NFL into a cash machine.
Out there.
Before, it was actually not that big a deal.
Same with the NBA.
When Jerry Jones bought the Dallas Cowboys, he bought it for something like $15 million or $1.7 million, and now it's worth billions. So the other conversation here is that, like, now that it is the product that it is, even if you got the money, it's the value of these teams. A shitty team like the Houston Texans is extraordinary because of the brand recognition and because of the advertising dollars that generate the business. So the other conversation here is getting in now. It's only going to go up, and it's only going to be more difficult to break that ceiling, so to speak. So, but I think, the people like Robert Smith, the people like Byron Allen, they also look at it like, do I really want to invest that much money into something that is not really going to have the same kind of impact? He can invest that money somewhere else. He can build a college. You know what I'm saying?
Give me your Super Bowl picks. What y'all got?
I got Cincinnati if it's close. I got LA if they up big.
No, you have to make a decision. You can't watch the game. No, what?
The Simpsons said
exactly
will win 34-31.
That's crazy.
I'm rolling with the Simpsons.
The Simpsons be on bullshit.
They predicted the pandemic and a whole bunch of other shit.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to vote against the Simpsons.
I just want to win. So
the longest running cartoon ever.
I'm in two pools. One, I got 10 squares. Another one got 5 squares. I just want to win some money. That's all.
I'll say this. Just from one simple football analysis. By all stretches of the imagination, the LA Rams should win this game. They have more receivers with talent. They have much better defense.
True.
They have, Sam Bradford.
Chase is the best receiver on.
Nah, he is. Chase is
Cup
crazy.
And Chase, yeah.
Yeah, Chase is crazy. Cooper Kupp ain't no joke, but Jamar Chase is crazy.
Yeah, he set the NFL record.
But here's my real analysis. I think I shared this with y'all yesterday. I wonder if LA being at home is actually a disadvantage, because when you think about it, y'all played sports, right? When you are in the state championships or playoffs, or you're about to go play a big game and you're on the road, your ability to focus in that locker room, you're not thinking about the crowd. You're not thinking about, you're not thinking about none of the environment. You locked into the game plan and what the strategy is. So I'm thinking about the Cincinnati Bengals in LA, locked in, just, they know they're not supposed to be there, right? Nobody's really got them winning the game. I shouldn't say nobody, but they know they're the underdog, right? Whereas LA, shit, I live there. My kids still in this house. My kids get up, they had their cereal.
Your kids.
I'm just saying, it could be too familiar.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
The level of distraction from your neighbor and all them, it just could be too familiar of a space. And then even when you walk into the stadium, you're walking into your home stadium. So I don't know. I think that.
So you don't agree with home court advantage?
I think in this case, no. If it were a series like the NBA, like baseball, like hockey, like if you get 3 or 4 games, if it's a one-game deal.
So you're saying that it's a disadvantage for LA?
I think it could be.
It's been perceived. It's been said that it's been stated or believed
and
that
McVay
the quarterback,
has blown some games.
The quarterback is the most important part of winning teams. On winning teams, Matthew Stafford don't give a fuck about Los Angeles. He spent his whole life in Detroit losing.
A loser.
He gonna get the motherfucker LA. He finna show his ass as much as he can. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think it's a distraction, bro. How about this? I think it depends on the player. You know what I'm saying? If the players are, about the fame, the glitz, the glamour, which a lot of these players are divas, you know what I'm saying? They want that. But I think the Cincinnati Bengals are young, dark horses, and aren't supposed to be there, like you said. The Rams are expected to win. Aaron Donald tired of losing. Von Miller, he won one, I think, at Denver, though. Leonard Floyd came from the Bears. He's with the Rams now. Jalen Ramsey was on a losing organization with, I think, the Jaguars or something, and he came there. You got pieces around on these teams, though, that want to win because they've been bad for so long. I think they're going to be focused. They don't get all the red carpet treatment they want to get. They're going to wear these little tight pants. And I wear tight pants. They wear tight pants. I wear tight pants. You know what I'm saying? They wear tight pants and all this little fashion, leopard print. You know what I'm saying? And then, they go out there and show off.
I think the Cincinnati Bengals have
34-31.
They have 2 chances to win. If they can neutralize the defensive line, if they can keep Von Miller and Aaron Donald from impacting the game.
Joe Burrow finna die out there.
But there's a way to do that, which is use Mixon and Chase on the edges so that they don't have to attack him. Or if the game is close in the fourth quarter, I got Cincinnati.
All right, cool.
Hey, guess what?
I got Cincy as well too, though.
Shea Whitey is at it again.
What they do?
Joe Rogan, Mr. Podfather, $100 million man. Okay,
where did you come up with all these pod-related vocabulary?
Well, because I'm a real
the third one. Podfather.
I'm a real dude in the real space. Right, you're welcome. Thank you.
Time for that.
Thank you. You're welcome.
What do I gain?
Flag on the play
from this unnecessary set of language. Why do I have to put pod in front? Are you a Crip? You gonna walk around with blood? You gonna walk around talking about some? We gonna get on the bouch? Like, what are you doing?
And that's still on him right now. Anyway, Joe Rogan's out here saying the N-word on a regular, often on his show. They had 70 shows removed.
He definitely said that.
And then he had the nerve to say that he's a victim, which is odd. Which is the backspin that Shea Whitey and them put on it. He said, "Oh man, there was just a collection of videos, and I wasn't being racist. I was speaking like on some third person shit. Right? Like, no, you cannot say the N-word under any circumstances.
We shouldn't even say it.
And then on top of exactly right. But then on top of that, he's on his show and he says, I went to go watch maybe let's say
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, Judas and the Black Messiah, right? Yeah, He's like, oh man, what do I go watch this?
Planet of the Apes.
Oh, Planet of the Apes, right?
He said because then
I'm sorry. I was getting to okay. When he was like, man, I walked in. He said I walked in and it felt like Planet of the Apes.
He said I walked into Planet of the Apes.
Exactly. Like,
what the fuck was this? Africa?
Is that not racist?
Well, you know what? See, them playing victim, people like him. I can't say them because I'm not encompass everybody or be all inclusive with that, because some people actually have they're respectful. They might say the N-word, but they'll say it at home. Right. They won't get caught saying that shit, you know what I'm saying? But people like him have been given this platform. They feel entitled. They can get away with things, you know. But what you don't realize, what they forget, what they don't think about is they have a past. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we give, it's old, and we give people passes for their past. No, fam. If you can say it that many times in an ensemble of clips, bro, you're comfortable saying it at home. Your friends are comfortable with saying it. And you obviously feel a certain way. But my problem is really with Spotify. And it's a big business, so I shouldn't be surprised. Y'all knew these shows was out here. Y'all can't give the CEO, you can't come give a statement saying, he does not represent us and we do not agree with that. Bro, you know these shows, y'all actually, y'all built by music, by artists. Y'all platforms built on that.
NDIRE made that real cool.
All the money y'all getting, you know what I'm saying? It seems like y'all giving to this motherfucker because he's carrying y'all. And everybody's got a workhorse. Everybody got a fucking workhorse that carries them and what the fuck they do. Joe Rogan is a person that will take what he want, do what he want, say what he want until he gets caught, and then he'll apologize. He has people that enable him. We talked about Bill Cosby member do his thing because he had people around him that knew it and turned a blind eye.
Enablers.
R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? The same thing. He's no fucking different.
Right.
Except it's just not sex crimes. He's no fucking different, bro. You racist, you discriminate, and you think you're funny. You use us for entertainment. Anything you can do to get a buck and make yourself funny, you'll do that because you like the bag. I don't blame you for liking the bag. Who wants to live amongst the... No, I'm not going to say that.
The peasants?
Yeah, who wants to live amongst the peasants, man?
The bottom feeders.
Once you get a taste of power and money, and Spotify definitely gave him power. Now think back to Joe Budden, why Joe Budden wouldn't fuck with Spotify. That's a whole different conversation, though. He left them for a reason and said it was disgusting how they were moving, and I won't take their back.
And you know what else is disgusting? The CEO said, "Well, no, I'm not firing him, right? I'm not."
He doesn't. He's not an employee of Spotify. Yeah. He said we're not going to stop carrying.
Right.
But this also started because NDIRE said, "Hey, look, take my music about. I'll take my music about for that
too, though. It was a white guy, a rock legend.
What'd he do?
He took his music off of Spotify
because of Joe.
I did see that.
Opinion about the vaccine and the coronavirus.
Right,
you know,
right,
you can feel what you want about the virus, but don't just sit here and just lie about the shit. Like, make stuff up. Like that's why I question. My fault, bro. That's my second time cutting you off on purpose. When he said he took the horse tranquilizer and this, I said, man, I don't even think that motherfucker had COVID.
Oh yeah.
Fuck about it.
I want to play just a bit of this clip, man, so people can really understand. This
is his apology clip.
No, this is just him using it, and then I'll get to the apology clip because the apology was trash. And he says, "I haven't used it in years." What the fuck does that mean?
Actual air?
Okay. You're right. Fuck it then. But he used it. Because I wanted to bring some.
If they don't know what it is, they can Google it. Yeah, let's not put that on our platform.
That's fair.
That's really ridiculous. Trevor Noah, to your point though, Trevor Noah, I think he did like a full 15-minute kind of recap on.
She was hilarious.
It was. What's funny is like. It was one of the few times where I didn't feel like laughing at Trevor.
I definitely
he definitely had some points there. He kept saying, like, with the point where he was like, see, if there was an audience here, they would just be laughing like, oh, Trevor, you're just so clever, Trevor. Like his whole shit. That's not a great impression of his voice.
That was terrible. Slick Rick.
Slick Rick on the microphone. Trevor brought up the point he said, you can't say that you didn't intend to, you aren't racist and that you don't think about racist things and in the same sentence say, I walked into a room full of black people and thought to myself...
And asked, where can I watch it in a black neighborhood?
I walked into the Planet of the Apes. Like,
it's not funny.
And Trevor made a really, really nuanced argument. He said...
That's your favorite word.
He said, life is nuanced, right? I don't believe in black and white like that. Like some of y'all.
Definitely a gray area.
But he said it was the comfortability with which he was saying this...
Right.
Around his personal peers.
And this is what I was telling y'all when we were talking about the NFL owners and that email and the coaches, right?
Right.
They're in their space. That's their safe space.
Yes. Goodell,
yes. Gruden, excuse me. And I'm like, nah, bro, this is how they talk, right?
And they said they couldn't find nobody else that was offensive. I was like, okay.
All right, so here's this weak ass apology. Just listen to this shit real quick.
Regretful and shameful thing that I've ever had to talk about publicly. There's a video that's out that's a compilation of me saying the N-word. It's a video that's made of clips taken out of context of me of 12 years of conversations on my podcast, and it's all smushed together, and it looks fucking horrible, even to me. Now, I know that to most people...
Anyway, man, his voice irritates me.
I don't know why you put that on, but...
This is why I have a hard time, and I always say, when I'm around y'all, and I step up and say it. I've said the word my entire life. So sometimes it comes out and I say, man, my bad for the N-word. I say the N-word actual N-WORD. I don't say the actual word, you know what I'm saying? Because it's terrible, man.
Was it? He had a lot of ERs on his
Oh, it was capital ER too.
Yeah.
Well, I think the GENR was capital.
I've always said when I see a white actor in those slave movies using the word, they love it. It empowers them because they can say it. They can say it on camera, and it goes out to the world, and it's free and it's okay. And then it's cut. Oh no, Blackie, you're my friend. No, you
words
really mean
just
that.
never. No matter what the word, like I certainly understand all the history and different people. A word never had the power to actually shake me out of my skin. Like,
but it's
fucking word.
It's what the word is and where it comes from.
That's fine. I get why it does that to other people. I'm saying me personally, I legit. There's not a word you could say in front of me, staring at me in my eyes, and I'm gonna just be like, "Oh God." I was like, "It's just it's a word. It's air."
Let me try this. Let me try this right here though. 420.
What does that even mean?
Your credit score. That won't shake you?
Now that'll shake you. I
thought you were talking about weed. You know what I mean? I went there.
Me too. I was like, what are you trying to say, Bozzy? What's happening?
I just dropped the bar. You see what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh, that boy bar heavy. Fuck out of here.
What the fuck?
Bar heavy? Oh, no, you reaching.
That was close.
But anyway, man, Rogan, get your goof ass out of here, man.
Exactly.
Man, if you don't get your goof
Is it
ass.
going to stay on spot? Is it going to lose traction? Or is...
No.
No, because people going to be on their podcast talking about his podcast.
Yep.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
Right.
So we're done with that.
We'll get that out of there. There you go.
Let's start with this Black Excellence, man. There's a family. They created an app, and also this is a vegan app, right? During the pandemic, and what's their names? It's called the Detox Program and
Digital Detox.
Digital Detox. What is it? Orisha Oshun and Grizzy the God.
They definitely got rap names.
Oshun is a Yoruba goddess
that's
name.
Toby Ungoku way people.
No, it's actually my people. It comes from the Yoruba tribe of Nigeria, where my name and whole culture comes from.
You don't rap though.
All right, well, talk your shit then. Go ahead, man. Because these are your
I don't
people.
know much about them. I was just talking about the name.
Basically, they just transform health during the pandemic, giving people a better way to eat with this app on some vegan shit. I thought that was dope.
Cool. Shout out.
Shout out to them on the Black Excellence. Shout out to Nipsey Hussle's family for creating the Marathon Clothing Store number 2 in L.A. to honor his legacy.
I didn't know number 1 was shut down.
I don't think it's shut down, but everybody just goes there and take pictures and shit.
I'm telling you, it is temporarily shut down, man. But I like the spinoffs they're doing of this, and they opened in Marathon number 2, but they also want to open a place that's they want to attract you without having you spend your money. So museums and like art institutes for kids to come and learn music programs and how to do things in music, because they say Nipsey and his brother benefited a lot from programs like that growing up. So they want to give it back in that same way as well, which is a beautiful thing.
Chance to rap.
I hate that our leaders have to get killed for
the difference makers.
Yeah,
man.
Like, I mean, Biggie definitely was a prophet. He said the best you nobody till somebody kills you, and that shit is crazy. I mean, we talked about Malcolm X last week. His childhood home now being a
flowers late, flowers coming a day late and a dollar short.
Man,
sometimes with no dollar at all.
But anyway, man, it's topic time. You hate it?
I saw you do that on the thing last week. I was like, please don't let him think that's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna make the thing. It's not, man. I don't even like LeBron like that, man. That's a LeBron guy. I've never even seen that.
1,000% bite.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that.
Oh my God!
How does he do it?
I don't believe you, bro. I don't.
Yeah,
no, how does he do it? So I'll know.
I'm not finna do it. He think he's smart.
Fuck. I'm a genius, actually.
You don't like another black man doing positive things.
Exactly, yeah. Spin move. No, I like that. I like that.
Married his high school sweetheart. In the age where everybody getting light skinned women, nothing wrong with light skinned women. He got a dark skinned sister. He at home with his kids.
There's a lot of racism on this show last week.
Are you light skinned shaming right now?
There's a lot of light skinned.
I'm asking why don't you like him?
I was trying to get him to walk.
I'm saying I got a shot. If I can take boom.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. So look, did Blacksploitation, right? Is that what we're saying? Blacksploitation. Empower the black image or degrade the black image for the black people or for white people?
Well, for those that don't know what blaxploitation is,
let's start there.
I'll put a definition for you guys, all right?
You finna read that?
It's fucking 7 words. It's really simple. Okay. The title, the word is self-explanatory.
No, I can't read. So
Exploit and black. Pretty much. It's self-explanatory. You know what I'm saying?
Did either one of y'all see the full intro for last show? Yeah.
Full intro? I didn't watch
I did. No, you did a good job.
Okay. Oh, buddy.
Kurt called, and I didn't pick up you on the
exploitation of black people, especially with regard to stereotyped roles in movies. That's what they have for it.
Wait, say that one more time.
The exploitation, yes, I can read.
You fell
for black
for
people, especially with regard to stereotyped roles in movies.
Okay. I like how they didn't identify nothing about black people in the definition of blaxploitation.
The exploitation of black people.
Oh, you said I didn't hear the black people part. Yeah, essentially,
still on them.
It's an era. It's an era of films that we were talking about. There's a documentary done by PBS, well done documentary called something like "Give Us Free" or "To Be Free."
Give us free.
But it just chronicles
how it feels to be free.
That was the music one. That's
how
the
it
one
feels to be
Lincoln
free.
And Nina Simone. No, this is a different one.
This is the PBS joint.
Is it? Okay. Well, anyway, the documentary basically chronicles black women in Hollywood, and it goes all the way back, obviously, to the first sister, Hattie McDaniel, who wins the Oscar for the slave role. But then it gets into this point where Cicely Tyson is, a darker skinned sister, and she's still playing these roles because the era of the movies that they're making for black people are still kind of in the slave time frame and in the in that space. But they interview Cicely Tyson, and this is when Pam Grier is starting to really pop with these movies about her like being a superhero. And like in the blaxploitation films, you got the pimps, and then you got you got the women in scantily clad clothing.
Sex is always involved.
And,
drugs is always involved.
And so Cicely Tyson's point was, while I understand the empowerment conversation around these movies, she was like, the narrative that it tells other people, because it's nothing balanced in there. She said there's nobody in these movies speaking about the fact that like, hey, all black people don't dress like this. All black people don't act like this, right? She was like, the movies just seem to skew 100% into this idea that all we do is fight, do drugs, have sex, and like everybody just out here loose, right? So let's keep it a buck out here. To answer the question, though,
that's so stupid.
To Cicely Tyson's point, I think that for us in our community, right, we know that's not the case, right. So I think it's easy for us to watch. What's your favorite Pam Grier movie?
Foxy Brown.
Foxy Brown.
Anything she's in,
with them knockers
hold
out?
on, bro. You disrespectful as hell. Anything in, you fucking misogynist.
So what?
Anything she's in, she's
them knockers was
gorgeous.
amazing,
and she could act.
I ain't say nothing about her.
And she got knockers.
Or not asking.
Those are the prettiest knockers I've ever seen in my life.
Point being though is like
we're not gonna talk about that.
No. We can watch.
Oh, y'all trash.
Films.
Y'all scared. Y'all scared.
We can
Salacious.
watch the Mac.
I don't think I've ever seen her in a porn, bro. So that's how I ain't talking about her titties, bro.
Bro, they show
movies.
titties every 5 minutes in black movies. Let's be clear.
They don't make it porn though.
I didn't say it was porn.
I'm just saying.
those
there was so much more to focus on in these movies.
No, because I don't care about the pimping. You know what I mean? I don't care about the drug selling.
I wasn't talking about
I cared about the titties at that time. What are you talking about? Them titties.
You just mad because you can't grow a fucking afro like she had.
Whatever. And I can't grow titties. But them titties.
Oh, boy.
Fire.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I did that. Anyway.
So that was her best asset?
At that time? Because the acting was trash. Y'all don't want to say it? I'm going to say it.
I don't think acting in blaxploitation movies was like revolutionary.
Thank you.
It wasn't, but to say
don't be scared to say it.
These roles were written specific ways.
Blaxploitation movies were about the music and the color. It was about fashion and music. Blaxploitation movies were about music.
You know what? You're right.
And the worst fighting scenes of all time.
You're right. It was about her titties because it's called blaxploitation. They had to expose her and exploit her.
Good spin move. Good spin move.
They could have used anything on her body because she was that fucking gorgeous,
listen,
man.
But she took it off too.
But listen.
I'll take off for Kende Pose.
Pam Grier.
Amazing.
When she responded to this, when they were asking Pam about it, she said, I was all into it. She said, what you have to understand is that these movies, black women, we were in these movies directing white men to get on their knees, right? We were telling these white
empowering
men,
themselves, right?
Yeah, like it was and
only for the movies though, trust me.
And no, she said, and that became a part of the women that were in these movies. She said that became a part of how we approached Hollywood. So when Pam Grier got into producing, she produced many films. When Pam Grier got into producing, they began saying, nope, I'm not going to have this person in. They gained that power from those spaces. I'm not going to say the acting in blaxploitation was very good. I don't think it was, but I do feel that there is something to be said. We talk about this with the current rap situation. There is something to be said about the fact that an audience that does not know your culture, if that's all they see, then they will start to associate those values as your values.
I get that.
So I think that's all Cicely Tyson was trying
to answer the question, though, did it empower us or the image, or did it degrade the black image? The only way it empowered our culture was letting us in the door to act, so to speak.
To see us on the screen, right?
That was it, bro. Any other way, it did nothing for us, in my opinion. Did it degrade the image? Yes. In every shape, form, and fashion possible.
It gave us jobs.
It had us, out here doing all the things Kende said. And I have a true story. I had a partner from the Philippines. All right? I had him for years. Good guy.
Pause. What?
I had him for years. Good
So
guy.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. First of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
You had him for years.
Okay, cool. I had a partner for years. Hit the button again. Had him for years. Hey, this the same guy. When I say, man, I might be having some implants done on Saturday. He say, oh, you getting a BBL? Why would you think of me and my ass when I tell you that? To me, that was just fucked up. I'm like, Joe, I don't know how you got to the pause on that, but that tell me something about your ass. You know what I'm saying? So I was cool on that. I couldn't respond right
for the last 3 weeks.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you hear that though. But he said, they have a time block on Sunday called Power Hour Sundays, which is really the whole day, be honest with you, where they show Blaxploitation films all day
in the Philippines.
But you know what spurred this conversation? You know what spurred this conversation between me and him? Spurred, whatever.
I think it's spurred.
Spurred, whatever the fuck.
I was gonna go with spawned.
Both.
This conversation started because of this. Okay, I was singing a Billy Joel song in the car because it came on the radio. And the words, he said, "Wow, you know this song?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "Well, yesterday you were singing Elton John as well, and then you knew some George Michael." I'm looking like, why would you think I don't know these songs?
Right, where's this
he said, because, in the Philippines, man, it's his accent. In the Philippines, man, we have the Sunday, we have the Power Hour. I'm like, what is that? He said the last shit he saw on vacation back home, the last thing he saw he had never seen before was Black Caesar. I said, boy, it's 1970 something. Yeah. What the fuck is wrong with you? We don't do none of that shit no more. At least not that way. You know what I'm saying? There may still be drugs involved, maybe sex involved, and violence involved. Right. We don't do it that way anymore, though. But to me, it did nothing but give the rest of the world. How could it empower you if we as one culture are versus an entire world, all the other cultures, we're fighting this image? It can't empower us at all. I mean, it just degrades because they get this image of us. And when they finally see us and meet us, no matter what shade of color we are, we're all just black to them.
That's running in the back of their mind.
They think we all beat up
when
all
he
women.
Go home, he a pimp.
We all beat up women. We get hot cocaine. We steal cars. We motherfucking, first of all, this is one thing we had a conversation about. It wasn't really a conversation. I was like, dog, it's true for me. I don't know about for other men. He said, we hate when you guys sleep with our women because, they don't come back the same. I was like,
Mandingo. You get that Mandingo.
No, that's true for me, but I can't speak for everybody. Dog, you know what I'm saying?
I'm good
at that, bro.
Filipino women do have a special, affection and, interest in black men. I did not know that until one particular time. I got.
We have Filipino cheerleaders, brother. And they dope. They got rhythm and everything.
I remember a point where, the homies I was around, you had that stupid conversation, like, man, if you could get your perfect girl, what you be like? I want a Filipino black girl.
Never said that.
That was like the.
I want a Pam Grier. No bullshit. I want a Pam Grier. No bullshit.
The titties.
But the sad part is this right here, though. The sad part is this: Blaxploitation ain't over.
No,
the movies ain't went fucking nowhere. Be honest with you, they're just repackaged, bro.
So you feel like, what's interesting about that? That brings another question that we may not have time for, but would you consider
they remade Shaft, bro?
Tyler Perry's
Blaxploitation
for sure?
I was going there, bro.
For sure.
Updated Blaxploitation.
And if the acting is that bad for the old Blaxploitation, they're cult classics, bro. Still,
in every Tyler Perry movie, there's some dog black man who is obviously cheating,
mistreating a woman.
It's the extreme. It's the extreme of everything. That's why I hate that shit. It's the extreme of everything. I hate that shit.
Come save her.
There's always a black man who is the absolute. There's never a white man in Tyler Perry's movies that's the villain. The white man is actually the nice guy that's trying to help the black people and be a part of the culture. It's always a black man that is the absolute evil character in his shows. I'm not saying I think it is Blaxploitation, but it is a conversation.
It's Boys in the Hood, Men's in Society. Are those Blaxploitation films?
That's a great question.
It can be.
I'm saying yes.
I think Don't Be a Menace in the Hood while drinking your juice on South Central. I think that's Blaxploitation.
Right.
That shit was hilarious.
Shit was hilarious.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think one thing about John Singleton in '92 is this goes hand in hand with the conversation about going from Public Enemy to Niggas with Attitude, right? The top selling hip hop group in 89, 90 is Public Enemy. 1 year later is Niggas with Attitude. So those are completely opposites on the spectrum of political theory, right? From, black people empower yourselves, don't fall for this stuff, fight the power. 911 is a joke in my town too.
Get up,
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We shooting everybody, including the cops. And there was still some rebellion in the NWA
but there's truth in both of them though.
Right,
so neither one is wrong.
So I don't know. I think there's also I think blaxploitation as a term is specific to that era. But then if you're saying like by definition,
but who came up with the
shit.
term black exploitation?
That's a great question.
Right?
Black
Was that
exploitation
what
or black
coined it?
exploitation?
Was it coined by
Probably
the white folks of Hollywood?
Miriam
or was it
Webster.
us?
It
Was it
would've
us?
Merriam-Webster did it, bro.
No, it
Merriam
would have been
Webster?
black people that called it that.
Almost believed you.
Yo,
too.
you did.
Yeah.
It would have been.
That's a good one. Miriam, where are you at? Give us a call.
Because nobody ever says her
I
first
think
name
it's
for no reason.
Marion, actually.
Marion?
I don't think it's Merriam Webster. It's Marion Webster.
I'm tired of this shit,
MERIN dash.
Nah, he's bullshitting. You for real?
Y'all keep on talking.
No, that's a random fact that Kende would know.
It's a dictionary.
So you just walk around with a dictionary in your back pocket?
No, but I work at a school.
I don't give a fuck. You know how many stupid teachers work at a school?
Oh, it is Miriam.
Shut up talking to me.
I was wrong.
Whoa, that boy good.
He reads books.
No, that boy's he's potting now.
Anyway, man,
I get the pardon for that shit.
No.
For Google?
No. Just
For Googling something?
because you killed the entire segment.
I hate you.
No, you did.
I still hate you.
I love it, though.
They didn't have clippers in Africa. Y'all haircuts don't exist, bro. That's blaxploitation right here. This is blaxploitation right here. Right here, I think about it, dog. I kept it a buck. Their ancestors kept it a buck with my hair.
Anyway, man, that's going to transition. That's going to transition into our guest. I cannot wait. It's about to go
What
down.
is your favorite blaxploitation movie? Because you have one. What's your favorite?
Fox and Brown. Fox and Brown.
Yours?
Without question.
The Mac.
I think mine's the Mac as well.
It
What's your favorite new
It wasn't enough
blaxploitation
titties in
movie,
that for
though?
me.
It was definitely titties in
It
there.
wasn't enough.
It was quotables in that, dog.
It was quotable, but it wasn't enough titties
I mean,
in
the
that.
Mac. The Mac for me because I actually.
They used to call you Mac. They used to call you Goldie too.
That's part of it. I mean, that's real. That's part
real
of it.
shit.
But it's actually
It's still
like.
funny as fuck, though. I don't care.
I feel like the Mac had more of a storyline that I could rock with. I feel like a lot of the other ones, it
You
wasn't
feel
a
like
real
the pimp, huh?
storyline in it. No, it wasn't that part. It was just like the emotional connections between the characters.
You're
and how it
emotionally
developed.
connected to a pimp. I get it.
I enjoy Brown Sugar.
See how I did that?
I enjoy watching P.D. Wheatstraw.
P.D. Wheatstraw was
enjoy
cool.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
That shit was great.
Later
That shit was great.
I even enjoy watching the cheesiest vampire
And
flick ever.
Dolomite.
Blackula. Dolomite was my shit.
Gotta go with
that was
Dolomite.
my shit, bro. It was so many. If it was exploiting us, if it was exploitation of us, why are there so many favorable movies that we just could pull quotes from? And because it wasn't, our parents didn't make us watch that shit. Somehow, someway, we got to these movies and watched them over and over again. You know what I'm saying?
Same way you get to your porn collection.
I'm
You'll
gonna get you
find-
suckers.
My tab's open right now. I got 18 tabs open.
Hey, look, man. After
I'm
these
not
messages,
bullshitting. We'll be right back. Blaxploitation.
All right, we are back. You know what I'm talking about in the music studio. You feel me? And we definitely have our lovely guest, Miss Reese LaFrances. Let's clap it up one time. You know what I mean? You know, I'm gonna just call you a serial entrepreneur because
Okay.
since we've met, you've had 3 different businesses
Yes.
that I've known you to have. And literally, as we were talking about having you on the show, you were already in the conversation about the next business. So I'm just going to say serial entrepreneur.
Yes.
You can give more about your background and things like that if you like, but we're just very glad to have you here on the show.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here. And yes, serial entrepreneur is pretty correct. I'm hoping to get it to where I can grow them and sell them. That's when I really know I didn't bossed up, right? So that's really the goal. Because I like to create, and I started to realize I don't like to be stuck in any one thing. I'm way too creative and have way too much to offer to want to spend my life 30 years with one concept.
I was going to ask you, did you have any stint with corporate at all? Like, because I've known you since you was creating your own stuff.
I
You
have
were from
not.
Not-profit to a women's
I
organization.
have not. No corporate background, which is probably why it's taking me a little longer than everybody else. But I came straight from nonprofit, which is all about give, serve, right? So having to step into having a business that needed to make a profit and through that whole thing, like even when I started, started the league, and I guess I'll talk about what that is, but I still didn't start that as a business. It was like a concept with a nonprofit. Right. And I was like building this group of women to actually serve that nonprofit. It never in my mind was going to be a business for me. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like,
for
I
sure.
kind of,
you were really just into the service aspect of it.
Yeah, like my whole life had just really been into service. So like this whole concept of like growing, scaling a business, making a profit, corporate, you know, like dollar, like dog eat dog type thing.
That was like the what? Who? Why I gotta do all that?
It's really, really new to me, right? And so I had to get some tough skin because, you know, and it's funny because my brother used to tell me, I remember watching The Founder, how the guy took over McDonald's and that whole thing.
Right.
I love that movie though.
Man, right?
Never seen it.
I'm such a bleeding heart, right? So I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe that he did them like that.
No.
Like,
I want to go feed these people.
I'm like, why would he take their idea and do that? And then, so I was just like, so like hurt. And so I remember telling my brother, and he was like, sis, I'm sorry to have to tell you, and this was way before I got here. He was like, I'm sorry to have to tell you, but in order to get to that level of success, you kind of got to be an asshole.
You got to be on a whole.
And I was like, no, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do people like. And he was like, all right. He was like, I'm telling you, certain levels of success. He was like, all right.
Yeah.
He's like, certain levels of success, you're going to have to lean more into your asshole. And I just didn't want to hear that, right? Like, he was like, you're going to have to learn how to be. I'm sorry.
No, I love that. I love that.
Right.
I love that.
We're gonna book you.
I like that. But yeah, you kind of got to lean more there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to the shittier part of yourself, right? You know, keep going with it, y'all.
No pun intended.
Right, no pun intended. Right,
We got you.
And so it took me a while on this journey to finally, like, after I got my heart broke, and then I was like, okay, wow, he's right. I have to be a lot less communal and a lot more confrontational and direct if I'm trying to grow a business. Because I was more like, let's community, we can do this together, and all, So right. I had to grow and learn a little bit.
Chicago's a place for that. Chicago's not a place for that community love type of shit. It's not just a city built differently, especially when you're trying to get things done. We've heard you mention the word serve a lot so far. We just started, this portion with you. Is that your personality, or is that something you saw? Okay, how about this? Is that
both
in your personality, or something you saw as a tool you could use to get ahead, or use to your benefit and grow your businesses?
Well, you know what? It's a part of my personality. I thought you were going to say, or is it something like you grew up with? Like, so my mom worked for a nonprofit. She retired after 35 years of social service. She ran group homes. So she did like 35 years, and she ran group home for girls. And then after 20 years of doing that, she spent the next like 10 years doing like case management. For taking like the kids to court, and then the last 2 years she went back on residential. So I grew up watching her like serve and have her, even though like she was with a bigger foundation. And then my mentor, where I have the majority of my work experience from, she started her own nonprofit, which is Demoiselle de Femme, which is where I got my start.
Say that slower.
Demoiselle de Femme,
okay,
which
cool.
is
to Femme,
which is young ladies to women, basically.
I like that. I love that.
Yeah. So I got hired and started working as an outreach specialist like at 21 with her. So like that was like my complete work history, like from there until I started the league, and I started the league at 35. That was like where I worked. That was all I knew. So think, this is my mentor. This is more of a family thing. So the world grew me up these last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, because I literally came from like a small community, church community, like where we all knew each other, that whole part. And it was actually in 2011 when I was kind of like, you know what? I started out as Lady Reese. Lady Reese Speaks is where I started. I was like,
you a rapper? You a rapper?
No, I'm telling you, because I was like,
right, exactly.
That was a Blacksploitation movie.
I started a blog. I was like, I need to take a break away from the church. I just was like,
she was like, the church is holding me back.
Listen, let me tell you how green I was.
Talking about this secular shit.
I was 31. Listen, I was 31. I had never saw weed before.
Weed or weave?
Weed. I was 31 years old, had never even seen
That's
it before.
Good, though.
Right?
That's impressive.
You had smelled it.
Good job, Mom.
No,
good job, Mom Dukes.
Been around
You
and
smelled
seen
it. Your mama just told you it was incense.
I mean, but listen, that's how I grew up. I grew up in a house where we didn't listen to any secular music. My mom didn't curse.
Wow.
My daddy was a hellion, but he balanced it out. You know what I'm saying? He balanced it out.
No, I've definitely heard that. That's old school.
But my mom raised like good Christian woman values. So my whole life was church and school, church and education. And so by the time I kind of hit 30s, like my mom retired, left and went to Georgia, and I was like, I'm gonna stay here and just see what this world
Chicago
has to
would
offer.
definitely bring you back down.
Yeah, so and that's when I jumped out, and at 31 I started blogging. I started kind of hanging out. I had never even really clubbed before, drank before, and so I met like McKinday and
you met the right one.
Joe College.
Joe College.
And,
shout out to Joe College. My guy.
Joe
What up?
College. That's cousin Joe.
Chill Will.
Chill Will.
Back
right?
then he was Chill Will.
Exactly. DJ Kevin Burns and like so I just kind of like they were like my intro into like nightlife. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, cool. For some reason, I always get cool with the brothers, with the black men.
No, you got good energy.
Yeah. So it's easy for me to kind of connect and take me in. Yeah. So that's why I can feel like you've been knowing me for ages. But yeah. So I felt like serving. So even when I jumped out in 2015 and started the Young Women's Professional League, it was still around serving. It was like a conversation me and my mentor was having, and she was like, this is such a selfie generation. Like everything is about the self. Like who I know, what I'm gaining, what I'm getting, what I'm eating. You know, like you can't even go to the toilet without having your phone to record. You know what I'm saying? It just was like, yeah. And so she was just like, you know, who is next? Like, how do we connect this millennial generation to do something other than fulfill their own self? You know,
self-loathing.
That's a great question.
I love that.
And she was like, because I'm tired. Because at this time, I think she was at like 25 years doing Demoiselle. And she just was like, we need a champion. We need someone who's going to put that clarion call out.
Clarion.
Can you come?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm going to drop a word or two.
Damn,
I mean, I'm
gonna give you 6. That's good.
That's
about an 8.2.
Yeah.
Definitely the first time either of those words have ever been used.
True. And we stay on that.
Okay, good stuff. So,
You do what?
The vocab.
Nah, okay.
Vernacular.
Fucking button, bro. Nah, you a coward ass dude. You a coward ass dude. I'm sorry. Be disrespectful.
Get him.
Come on, fam.
Wow. I'm booking myself for that.
No, man, come on.
That's what she was saying. Fuck this guy too.
I just don't feel like waiting.
I said, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute, huh?
Wait. First of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Whatever, man.
So basically, once we had that conversation, I was just like, okay, well, you know what? I felt a call to duty. Do you know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what? I'll be that person to galvanize these millennial women to a cause bigger than us. And I'm like, okay, well, let's start. How do we even get them excited? Like, where do we start, right? And so I was like, well, you know what? She's not lying about this being a selfie generation. And people, they like to be honored, right? I was like, people like to be honored, like to be seen. I said, so let's start there. I'm like, let's honor them, give them a platform where we're saying, you know what? We see you shining, sis. Let's, honor you.
Give you your flowers while you're here.
Give you your flowers now, and then let's take that collective energy and do something good with it, right? You're bad as one person. That's why we're honoring you, but we're even stronger together, right? Yep. So that was my whole idea around the 40 under 40 award ceremony.
Which is dope, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was really dope.
Yeah.
It was so cool because when you first did that first year you did that, okay, so I'm going to just throw this out there, right?
Yeah.
Reese lives in the world of ideas.
I do.
Love it, right? So it's like, I'm just straight up, like, I'm just not even going to sugarcoat this at all, right? So it's like, the first conversation is like, hey, so listen, I got this organization. I want to do this event, like an award ceremony. And I'm listening. I'm at this point, I'm kind of trained to listen through. As she's saying things, I'm visualizing what that looks like. Okay, how many people are going to be the awardees? Are you giving away actual awards? Do you need to take? Like, I'm thinking through all the logistics as she's explaining.
You going into your Rain Man shit.
And so then she goes, for real, like I'm realizing now, it really is some Rain Man shit, right? But So we're getting through it, and then she's going, and then I thought about like, and then there could be this point at which like all the women can get up, and then and now I'm going, okay, wait a minute, got to reel this back. Right? Before we get the ice sculpture delivered, let's bring it back just a step, right? But so there's this creative energy when she's birthing an idea, right? Mm-hmm. The creative energy is going, and so she starts extrapolating. Okay, what else can I do? What else can I do? What else can I pull from? But anyway, when we first finally get it all finalized and we get to the first show, and I hadn't looked at the list of women that she was honoring yet, right? I'm just focused on, okay, the doors are going to open at this time. We got this many chairs. Whose reservations? So then when we actually start the show and I'm looking at the screen, I'm like, yo, that's sis. Yo, I know sis. Right. Yo, this is crazy, right? And so in a lot of ways, I think to your point, it's like each of them I individually may have known for what they do successful, but seeing them all on one stage that one time, just like collectively, and some of them knew each other, some of them didn't. Yeah. Seeing them, that was a super, super powerful moment.
It's still a lot sometimes for me to take in how
when you look back at those photos,
and how
right?
magical something
that was like 4 years
that
ago.
I created. I mean, well, over the last 5 years, we've actually inducted 200 women. Dope. 200 of 200 young professional women in Chicago, and then in 2020 hit, and that's when I kind of had to learn some, because in 2018 we broke away from Demoiselle de Femme, and I kind of got like thrust into like, now what do I do? Because
we're gonna come into that in a second.
Yeah, because I can't wait to go there.
Yeah. Well, 2018 I actually got thrust into it not just being a initiative with Demoiselle, like we cut ties. Once again, my life was just on a different path, and Demoiselle, once again, I told you my background is very churched. It's
hallelujah.
It's rooted in a lot of different principles.
Made the church say amen.
Amen. And I wasn't necessarily on that path.
You preach into the non-choir.
So I wasn't necessarily on that path. Yeah,
nobody in this room has been to church in the last ever.
So
I'm a minister son on top of that. Which
So we ended up parting ways, and so then I was kind of like, okay, now what? So then that's when I was like, okay, I got to try to make this an organization. Whenever I wasn't really ready. I didn't even, to be honest with you, like I said, when I started it, I'm just like, this is something good, and we're going to do something good. I had no idea. I wasn't thinking about structure or business and how it's going to make money, how it's going to be sustained. None of that was a part of my mind. So in 2018, I kind of started, so the women were like, well, you need to make people pay. Oh, you needed it. And so I had like all of this feedback, and the women want this, and to the point. So I'm trying to give, I'm trying to, sustain my own life, because at this time I still wasn't really making any money. You know what I'm saying? Like this.
That's the grind, though. That's the grind.
At this point, I done brought 120 women in Chicago together. They making connections. They making money together. They making moves. And I'm trying to figure out how to get a cup of coffee. Do you know what I'm saying? So I was kind of like, okay, so I'm trying to take all that in. And then by 2020, like when 2020, the pandemic hit, it all hit the fan, and I just broke. I was like, I don't have anything left to give. I was like, I had a long-term on and off relationship, and like it just was so much.
Go jump on a person?
Man.
Go jump on.
Listen, I'm an Aries, so I just literally posted, folks better be glad that I chose silence instead of violence.
Silence instead of violence. Mandatory lockdown in 2022. Man, if I wasn't forced to stay in the house, I would have burnt this.
Do you understand? Folks better be glad I chose silence instead of violence. Right. But so it just took me a minute, and I had to grow up. Like, I had to like grow up, mature.
Grow out of that original self.
And grow out of that bleeding heart. I just want to give. Like, I had to really find some balance in what is this for me? How does this serve me as well? You know what I'm saying? Not just other people, but me. And while I took that little break, and I don't know, y'all, I'm going to let y'all do your own transitions, but 2020 also was good, because then it gave me opportunity to say, what about the men? Maybe
talk
this is a good time.
Maybe
this is a good time to see what we could bring together for the men,
Can you give the name of that King's Concierge? Is that correct?
So it's the Kingmaker, Kingmaker Concierge. Concierge. Yes.
Now,
Kingmaker.
I love that, right? Because I saw all the people that were listed. My good friend, my brother to my left was one of the nominees, right?
Honorees. Awardees.
Excuse me. Well, you had to be nominated, man. Then you had to be awarded, right? It's a step process.
Put some spec on my name.
I just showed you some love, bro.
And awarded.
Mm-hmm. I posted it. I shouted out. Did I not do that?
Well, you just said nominee. I'm just saying.
But you had before you can be awarded. Before you can be awarded, you have to be a nominee, right?
No.
No.
We're gonna talk about fashion a little bit too.
Whatever.
Go ahead.
All right. Anyway.
All right.
So I was like, oh shit, she's dope. And that particular day, like, we had a live show. I'm like, oh shit, she trying to take my mans and them away from what we building and shit, right?
I remember that.
And he was dead. I'm like, man, bro, I got to do this. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, bro, go do that. You know what I mean? Go.
He said, fuck the corner, bro.
He did. He did. Right. So then my second thought was, damn, I'm not working hard enough because you don't know me and my name ain't nowhere on there, right?
Okay.
And you know, B-side was on there. That's my man's. Right? I've known him forever. Yeah. I'm like, damn, I feel like I really been putting in the work, right?
There. Yeah.
But the crazy part is, now I really feel like the work is being done.
Yeah.
Right. So when I see people like you and other people that shall remain nameless that have been putting in the work, right? It just lets me know that we're on the right path doing what we're doing. So I don't ever want you to stop doing that.
Is that you please me in to be on the next round of awards?
Absolutely, it was.
For sure.
I feel like
I should be nominated.
I
should be security.
I heard him. I heard through it.
You know, so in that same vein, you were gonna say something?
No, go ahead, bro.
In that same vein, so the pivot goes from honoring black women under their 40s, doing their thing in all these different ranges. Like you say, 2020 hits, you take a pause, you kind of re-identify. And I remember this phone call.
Yep.
Hey,
the first phone call.
How you been? How's 2020?
What's going on?
Yeah. Right.
Hey, yeah. So,
hey, big head.
Wasn't quite hey, big head.
That was too
funny. So I'm thinking. I really realized, like, I just like to serve, right? She went back into the service conversation.
I like to honor people.
I love that.
I like to honor people.
Right.
As long as they don't take advantage of it.
And she was like, and I'm thinking about doing like a similar thing that I did with the 40 under 40, but with men. And she was like, I got this concept for like the Kingsmaker concierge. And we go through the same process. Mm-hmm. She starts telling me what the idea is, and I'm starting to try and see if I can connect the logistical dots, right? Like, is there people that will buy tickets for this? Is there, how does this physically look? How long does it go, right? How many microphones are we gonna need, right? So we get all the way through it, and I'm like, man, this is something that's actually cool because she's talking about, and I'll let you actually explain what the business is, but as she's talking about it, like you said, I'm kind of sitting here like, this is some shit I want to be a part of. Like, this ain't just me helping you flush out this idea. Like, I want to be in the motherfucker.
Nah, you're a dope brother, right? Man.
Like, please, to talk about that pivot to the Kingmakers concierge.
So, to be honest with you, a few years into YWPL, men were already like, oh man, how y'all always got stuff for women? We don't have nothing like this. So I had already early on knew I wanted to do something for the men. I just didn't know what it looked like. And at first I pushed back because I was like, I'm a woman. I know women because I'm a woman, but I don't know if and the men were like, man, I had a brother telling me, if anything to this level is going to be done for black men, you're going to have to do it because we don't do that for each other.
True.
Facts.
So I was like,
I ain't never given these.
No, I don't get no credit. Bossy gets no credit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And I'll talk about the differences between that I've seen so far in working with men and women, right?
Right.
They both have their pros and cons. But anyway, so 2020, like I said, I took some time away from the women. I was like, okay, I got a lot going on. But I was like, I love to honor people. But more so than that, I wanted to take my hand at what does a business model of this could this look like, right? So now I'm more in thought of how do I factor myself in and what I'm going to give.
There you go. Because you learned the first time around.
I learned the first time around, right? Because I was like, I already did this with the women. I ain't not going to shoot myself in the foot again with the men, right?
Right.
And here's the thing, because I used to tell people, people like they cake and eat it too. Well, if you bake somebody a cake and sit in front of them, they're going to eat it. So, like, I can't get mad if I'm making beautiful cakes and people
hungry.
They're hungry, they're going to eat it. You know what I'm saying? So I had to, come on, you see what I'm saying? So I was like, okay. So I was like, well, let's do this. So basically, I came up with the concept, and kind of like we were talking before.
Right.
I know men men are so bare bones a lot of times.
Facts.
And so they need women to come in and just put a woman's touch on it.
Facts.
Right?
I agree.
So that was my idea of let me create this membership where I come in and you already a king, but let me make things, let me just adjust the crown a little bit, right? Let me polish those things a little bit, right? And so that became my tagline. Every man deserves to feel like a king. Let me adjust your crown, you know?
Right.
And so the Kingmaker Concierge is a membership-based company that allows members to have exclusive access to our personal image and branding consultant, also to our monthly private networking events, as well as our business concierge services. So our mission with Kingmaker is to increase our members' personal brand awareness, like whatever your business or brand awareness is, to increase that. And it's not necessarily through like just posting your flyer on our page.
Yeah, it's bigger than that.
Yeah, I think people think join my membership for marketing, I'm gonna post your stuff on my page.
I'm gonna get you 100 followers.
They got Facebook for that.
So I don't want people to think right. I don't want people to think that brand awareness means that.
It's about curation.
Right.
Absolutely, right. Brand awareness is stuff like this. Me getting you on a podcast, me building out a course for you, me making sure that your profile is streamlined, or you know what I'm saying? If you need a private meeting and you want to up your game on something, then I'll come in, set the meeting up, we'll buy the food, we'll plate it. You know, if you're in the big money for the deals, it take me, for the meals, it take me just to compliment the deal. You know what I'm saying? So it was that whole thing. So our whole mission, like I said, is to increase your brand awareness, to also increase your social network through curated experiences, right? So that's what we do each month with our King's Club. We call it the King's Club. And so we curate, you have a 3-course dinner, you have cocktails that come with it, conversation.
The one at the tailor shop where like you was able to get you a nice little suit jacket vibed up. You know what I mean? Right,
so it's to curate and it's to put the right people in the room. The price point is the price point too, because it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody.
I mean, it's concierge. That's you know what I'm saying? So that means you have to be in a place, in a mind state, in a space,
in a bracket.
My coach used to tell me all the time, if you look good, you play good.
Facts.
Period.
Right. And then the other one is, once again, our other mission is to save you time by managing your business projects. I just shot a proposal to a king about managing something. He has like a podcast type, something he wants to do out. I pitched to him to manage it. So business projects. At first when I started, I thought I wanted to be more like, oh yeah, we'll pick up your jargon, and I was like, I'm not. That's beneath. I'm not doing that.
No Jordan.
That's slave work. We ain't on that.
Yeah, we not on that. You know what I'm saying? I realize that.
That's assistant work. That's assistant work. Yeah.
Right. You know, at first I was like, personal assistant. And I had people like, call 600 people. I'm like, I'm not finna be on the phone calling 600 people. That's not what I
lose my vocal cords.
Yeah, that's not what we do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, no, what we do is you give me a project, you let me manage the project. Let me see how, once again, to polish it. How do you bring this part? And I'm saying, even if I can't do it all, then I'll bring all the right people to the table. So that's one less person you have to call, right? So you hand the project to me, say, hey, I need this, and this. Cool, I got you. Give me what's my budget. I go find those people, bring them back to you. Say, hey, this is what I researched. These are the people. Let me know how you want to move on it, right? So that way you don't have to. It saves you time, right? And then just once again to support your black men's overall quality of life. Like we're literally wanting to build a safe space for black businessmen in Chicago, for them to have a camaraderie, to fellowship, to build a brotherhood, to find mentorship, partnership, whatever it is that they are looking for, to get high-level, serious-minded black businessmen in one room so that we can create some power.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
If you don't like the project,
all right,
are you still taking a job?
No.
So you have to be vested in some way.
Absolutely. I'm past all of that. You know, at this point in my life
that's
and career, and this point in my life, you know, I choose what I get to work on. And here's the thing.
That's cool though. Yeah.
Yeah. When you're getting started and the money not looking right, you be like, yes, I'll do it. Okay.
Whatever I can do to get this.
I'm gonna do whatever I can do. And then I start realizing, when I did that, I didn't give it my best, or it just, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't giving the client, you know, because it just wasn't what I wanted to do, you know, and it wasn't utilizing my real skill sets. Like McKenday said, I'm a creative. Give me something that I could put my creative flow on and make that thing even bigger, like expand it. That's what I like to do. If you've ever taken strength finders. My number one strength is futuristic. Right. And then my number two is connectedness. Right. So I'm always like forward thinking, how do I expand this? How do I make this bigger? How do I take it into the future, and connect the dots? My second is connected, and then like action and ideation, all those things of
execution.
Yeah. You
know what? The audience and us here, we hear everything you're saying, the things you're putting forth on your platform and all these ventures, that's the wave. I hear an undercurrent.
Okay.
And while you're talking, I'm hearing that we as black men haven't been connected, don't know how to get connected, and that's kind of stopping us from being kings. Kings make us concierge. How can we make that undercurrent a wave where we aren't afraid to, reach out to each other, help each other, especially in a city like Chicago.
Yeah.
Help each other and make that undercurrent the wave of, hey man, look here, if we gonna get it, we all gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? It's enough of the pie for everybody. I think what you're doing is like home base, but you got to get the first. You got to get the second. You got to get the third. Hell, I want to walk up to home plate and hit a fucking home run. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think with what you're doing, you're setting men up to actually swing for the fences. So how can we make the undercurrent for those that don't have the connections? The wave.
And if I could add on to his question, like we talked about this fact that you've expanded into another market, so maybe even add that.
Yeah, so one of the things that I've kind of found the difference between working with black men versus black women, one of the things that I love, I'll start with the positive. What I love to work with.
Because some of you.
The one thing I love about working with black men, your mistakes is a little bit more easily recoverable. Right? Black men are not going to be like, black men are not going to be like, oh, I told him, and now everybody not liking your post. Not five of y'all, you and your friends. And then, deleting me on Facebook.
That's that petty woman shit.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Men gonna tell you like,
that's
hey.
That's a really interesting perspective.
I'm serious. Like, so if I misstep or like something, most men are gonna tell me what it is. Like, this is what it, no, I think you da-da-da, and it's done.
You're never be in the shade room.
Right, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna feel like now 5 days, like nobody's talking to me now. Nobody's, you know what I'm saying?
Apologize.
Yeah.
So it's
trash.
Just,
so it's a little bit more easier to maneuver. Men are a little bit more
cut and dry.
Yeah, and logical with how they make moves, right, and a little bit more patient too, right? Because I think men come from this space of like not that women don't, but they're like, we know what it takes to build a business. Like my one guy, this is just going into my second year Kingmaker. So every time I would kind of get I had one of my kings always be like, how long you been doing this? I'm like, it'll be a year. He said, exactly. He says, just stay consistent.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
consistency
stay
is
consistent.
Key.
You know what I'm saying? Stay consistent. So that's one of the pros about it. One of the cons about working with men is it's a little harder to convince you guys of what you actually need because you think you know it all
I fucking
already.
agree.
That is true.
Totally.
Totally.
And
shit.
you know,
So
I'll
if
be
you
frank,
had
you don't
any-
always like hearing from somebody else, even if you do know it. Like, I know I need that.
Exactly.
I know why
so
you
that's
telling
the
me I
hard
know.
part. You need my services, but you like, I don't really know. Like, bruh, come on. You know what I'm saying? So it's it's harder to convince black men that they actually need what you're offering because they think they already got it, or they know somebody who
Or they
can
feel
do
like they
it,
can do it
or
without
they think
you.
they could do it themselves or do it without you.
Because
or
they think they're superior. Let's keep
all of
it
that, all
Yep.
of that plays in. Who is this little girl telling me she gone? Yeah, so you get all of that type of energy, right? So that's been kind of the pushback, with working with men is really getting them to understand why they're putting the value into what they're offering. Like, I had a post from the women to jump back. Somebody posted like a few weeks ago on my page, like, Reese, I just had to come to your page and thank you. To say thank you for all of the connections that I was able to get through the league, like the connections, the money I made, like just all of that has been priceless, right? So it's taken the women get that. I think the women are not always like.
How'd that feel?
It felt good. It felt good. I'm not gonna lie. It was very healing. It was extremely healing because sometimes you can. I got to a place where I was just kind of like perfect by no means. Learning as a leader, always had strong leadership qualities, but I knew that there were things about that made me have made some missteps or or different things,
You're
right?
only human.
But right.
You're only human.
But you start feeling like, but made a lot of sacrifices to honor people, right? And so when you feel dishonored or disgraced, you know what I'm saying? That really burnt me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I really felt like these women don't know the half of
because
the
you know the work that you put in.
Absolutely.
To get the job
like
done.
I said, there's only 1 year that actually had a membership fee, and that was the last year that we brought on. That was 2019. Before then, it was said that you could pay like $40 a quarter. Like nobody really paid it. We didn't care. And like every year, I was producing high level quarterly events, service, like on my own connections. I'm calling McKinney. I'm calling my people. You know what I'm saying? So like I was working, and at one part, most people don't even know, but I'll share. I share on the podcast. Like at one point in that time, I was even essentially homeless, like living like had
between people's family and all
and
that.
was still nobody would have ever known.
Nobody would have known, right?
At all.
Right.
So that's what I mean. Like, I was making high level sacrifices, and I don't blame anyone because those were my choices, of course. But once again, it feels like a slap in the face when people just be like, well, where my $200 go?
Right.
I didn't want to say it, but
you know what I'm saying? So like that was like hella, it was, and don't be wrong, because I know there's processes and things, but it was like the fact that you have watched me literally like produce, and then it'd be like, well, like, what did you think? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it takes money to do this. So that's why I was just like, let me take a break. Let me transition over here with the men, get the financial structure together, see what that looks like with the men. Because see, men gonna tell you what they gonna tell you like, nah, that's too much. I'm like,
they're also more likely to just drop the 300 and just be like, oh no, that's
that works.
That 300's gone.
And I started telling the guys, I was like, to be honest with you, at your monthly networking events, a lot of you all either have services or different things that you do.
You're not getting your value from by not.
If you come in this room and you book one person, you pay for your membership that month. Your membership pay for itself. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's how you have to look at it. You only going to get out of the membership what you put in. So,
that's real.
And so I think that some of the other things, and we touched on it earlier, I don't know where y'all want me to go, but, some of the things that we touched on earlier too, and I said it right before we started recording, is the other thing I see with men as a dynamic. Everybody is like, not everybody, let me take that back. Very few, I should actually say. But I have seen where men will want to rock with you and be like, I got you, I'm gonna help you tonight. And then when they realize that they can't sleep with you, then they
I want you. No. This is a corner combo. Okay, say it like you said it.
Okay, well,
say it like you said it. You're not in the church. You're not in the church.
Let me say. Well, hold on. Let me
say how you feel.
Because let me say it. It was a post.
Do you want a massage?
It was a post,
right?
And so I'm going to repeat the post. Okay. All right. So the post said, it's funny how men always want to work with me, support me, have my back until they realize they can't put their dick in me.
Thank you.
That's true though.
Thank you.
You experienced that.
And that's what, I'm a woman. So, of course, I will say this though. Most of the men who I have been able to have like relationship with and build with, they have been really upstanding, good men. Do you know what I'm saying? Of course, you're gonna get okay. I mean,
they really do
men are,
exist.
men are gonna be men. So you might
have that drunken night where he's like, hey,
and here's the thing. And I always wanted my kings to feel safe because it is a safe space. Yes. So when they talk, how men talk, I'm not offended. I'm not easily, because then it's like if we gotta come here and then like be on eggshells.
Yeah, I'm not on that.
Yeah.
That's why I told you earlier, like, man, I gotta say my shit, right? Because I have to be who I am and my genuine self at all times.
Absolutely. So I don't play that game with them. So it's not like I'm like, hey, I'm not. Listen, for the last few months I cook. I love to cook, so I would cook for the monthly things. Dope. Plate their food. I have my daughter working with me. We plate their food. When you come to King's Club, you don't do anything but be a king.
Word.
I know I got some pushback on that from the women, of course, but whatever. Yeah. This my shit. This how I want the men to feel.
What mindset go ahead, bro.
No.
What mindset do you think separates you from the woman that think that you shouldn't do that? What's the difference?
Once again, being a server. being a servant, having a servant's heart. It's not. It doesn't make
That's
me
the
less
only way
of a
you grow
woman.
when you
It's
serve.
not.
Well, it's not popular though.
It's
right?
not. And
It's
so
not popular.
the men don't do anything. We fix their plates. We plate their food. We fix their plates. We bring their drinks. If a man get up, I'm like, sit down. What you need?
You ain't gonna rub these toes though.
But see,
No,
I'm
none
a
of that.
mama's boy.
But I'll bring a lady in to do it.
I love
had
that.
a lady came in to do facials, doing like so.
That's dope.
Yeah, October was like
catch a
our
massage,
pre-Sweeties
yeah.
Day. Like it was Friday, like the Friday before Sweeties Day, and I had an esthetician come in, and she did many facials for all the guys.
Esthetician.
Yeah,
It took me till
Check it out.
last year to know what the fuck that was. No bullshit.
That's super funny. It took me dating one to know what it was. But,
And I definitely cannot pronounce that shit.
I was like, know what esthetician life is like.
Spell it, spell it, spell it.
Nope, I don't want to.
EAST.
I knew he was gonna try.
Yeah.
I knew he was gonna try.
ICIAN or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm
Easter
close.
and Letitia. Easter Letitia.
That's actually a very accurate statement of what the whole conglomerate of esthetician
Right.
life is, actually. Easter and Letitia.
You funny.
We're going to kind of pivot away from just the King's Concierge for a second.
Yep.
Because you are also from Chicago.
Yes.
Right.
Chi-town.
So one of the things that's
Chi-town.
always important in the Chicago pantheon of life is which high school did you
Oh,
graduate
I
from?
hate this question.
Why you do it like that though?
You had to
It
go.
must
You had
be
to.
one of
You
the
had to go to
worst ones.
Schurz.
She went to
Taft,
Ignatius.
some
Wait,
trash,
hold on.
some
Can-
super trash
Told
shit.
y'all what my
Can we guess?
background
Hold on. Can we
was.
guess?
Yes.
What side of
Please.
town start with?
It ain't. Yeah, no.
Okay. All right.
Oh, you went to Glory of Christ Basement Man High School. There's like 70 y'all.
No, she was homeschooled.
Somebody
Really.
grandma was the teacher for all 10
Well,
grades.
actually, I went to Queen of Peace.
Queen of Peace.
That's the same
See, that's why I like answer this question.
Where is it?
Why you put you in the basement though?
I know, right?
That's a church basement school. They didn't do it in the main room.
So Queen of Peace was along the lines like Mother Macaulay and like those type of schools, but it was an all-girl Catholic school on like 76th and Linder, which is like
know what it
like
is.
central, like 79th.
Super
Southwest.
Yeah,
Southwest.
Southwest, super Southwest.
Wow,
and
y'all
before
didn't
that,
have
I went to Holy Angel. So I don't know what
Did y'all
public
have like
school
a Bible
is.
study team?
No, I mean, because this is Catholic school, so you have to go to mass and that kind of stuff. But
Yeah,
I
you're
literally
right.
started private school at 3, and I've never been in public school. At 3
Really?
years old, I
'Cause you
started at
went to
Holy
Valparaiso.
Angels.
Is that a public school? That's not a
It's
public
not.
school.
It's a
is it?
private school.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never been in public
Trash.
school.
This explains.
Put you in the
It
basement though.
explains much, doesn't
explains
it?
things. Yeah. Okay. All right. So then,
Yeah.
music wise, Chicago wise, right?
Okay.
R&B or hip hop?
R&B.
Okay. Chicago R&B top 5 artists. Not necessarily albums, but artists. Or no, is it albums? I think it's
Either
albums.
one, it don't matter.
Albums, however you want to spin it, it's fine.
Wait, like Chicago though?
Artists.
Yeah, that'd be Chicago artists.
Well, who's R&B in Chicago
You got
artists?
Dave Hollister. You got
don't
Yes,
give her the
yes, Dave
answers.
She need the
Hollister.
list.
I don't need the list.
He's from the church. He's from church.
Shaka's
Beautiful
good.
Shaka
Yeah,
Khan,
Shaka
yeah.
Khan,
Shaka,
right? I
yes.
love some good old school. Dave Hollister. Okay, let me see who else from Chicago. Even though I said R&B, I love Kanye. I only have
That
3 that I
counts.
really listen to:
counts.
Kanye, Drake, and Jay-Z. Those are like
good choice.
my 3.
Yeah.
Other than that, I really don't like to listen to rap. But
no Benny the Butcher, huh? Okay.
no, oh God, no. I told you for like the first 18 years of my life, I only listened to gospel. Like I was only allowed to play it in the house.
You ever heard Joyce Meyer,
Cray?
Jimmy Swagger? You heard them too, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, I hated that.
Okay.
Wow.
But yeah, give me some more. Who else
You
is
can't say his
from
name, but he's in jail
Chicago?
right now.
Donnell
You can't say his
Jones.
name.
Oh, okay.
Donnell.
got,
Well, yeah, he's not in
All
my
right,
top.
so let's go out Chicago because she was a little secluded,
all
right?
Yeah.
Just give me
The top 2
Do
R&B.
like Dion did. Dion's Dream did and say the top
Ooh,
5
who
albums
is-
that impacted your life.
So actually, I
like
really
that.
love like neo soul. I would probably
Yes.
say one of my favorite is Eric Roberson.
Love Eric Roberson.
I love
Yeah, he
Eric
dope.
Roberson.
He's actually a cool cat.
Yeah,
Really
he
dope.
really is. Like
He's-
it was at one point when every time he would come in town, I would go.
Yeah, he's like the epitome of the King's
You
Concierge
met him?
kind of cat too. He's very
I
smooth.
met him, had a chance to
always
meet him,
slick.
got
Good.
like hella pictures with him, everything. Yeah, so
Good.
Eric Roberson is like one of my favorites.
He's a gentleman's gentleman, like in a
really
real way. He
is.
very,
Like,
very
he
much so
really
holds
is.
himself and anybody around him at a standard. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's what I loved about him. I love that his music has that standard. His life speaks of that standard. You can tell he loves his wife and his
My
sons.
favorite joint from him is the joint with him and Layla Hathaway.
Oh yeah, Dillings.
Yes.
See, I know. I already.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of my
Woo,
thing.
he kill that.
Yeah, and let me think. Who else R&B? Ooh. Oh, this is interesting.
I mean, got to be some Jill Scott in there somewhere.
Well, all of them. I didn't know if y'all, how to write, but all of them. You know who I love? I have a new indie soul playlist. I love a lot of the new ones, like the Lucky Days.
Lucky Day the shit.
Sir
dope.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm
you
really
weren't afraid to transition from the old to the new, though. A lot of people get stuck in their era and won't move forward.
Yeah, because a lot of us.
Did you do this?
Dang, I want to say we old heads already.
Yeah, she's somebody's grandma.
So I
she was 15 talking about some, so listen, when I work at Promontory. I'm going to be in school. What are you talking about?
Exactly. So
that's hilarious.
They haven't put out, they've been just living life. The Ericas, the Jills, and they just kind of been staying.
That's cool. But again, the Lucky Days of the world have picked up the slack, right?
Yeah.
Music
Her, I'm loving her.
Love her. Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Are you a fan of Music Soul Child?
Absolutely.
You watching the verses?
Jasmine Sullivan.
Jasmine killed it on
Come
that
on,
album.
yeah, Jasmine.
Okay, now wait. Now we're getting into a slightly different area, right?
Okay, we are.
Do you think that because we talked earlier about blaxploitation being this this fine line between women's empowerment and kind of degrading the image of a black woman. So as we talk about the shift in R&B, right? The neo souls, the Angie Stones, the Erykah Badu's, the Jill Scotts, we know that Lauryn Hills, they were all about the black empowerment kind of thing. But now we get into the hotels. You know what I'm talking about? And we getting into Shanice's and we getting into the Megans. Do you feel like this the black woman music icons now, even the R&B ones, not just like the hip hop vibe, do you feel like there is this same conversation where there's this blaxploitation thing going on, or is there empowerment going on?
You know what? It's hard to people gonna answer from their own internal moral code. You know what I'm saying? Right. What I will say is, when I think about Jill, shout out to my Aries sister.
I got a question about that too, but go ahead.
Yeah, but when you think, your hands on my hips pull me right back to you. You know what I'm saying? Like she wasn't like, and then one of the ones when she talks about
Royal for life.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, I think because she is also a spoken word poetry, hers were always more poetic, right? Okay. So the way she sung about sex had a poetic type
very
flow.
Metaphoric.
It was very shallow. It was very shallow.
Yeah. She never said, "I want to."
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
The microphone bid, that was different.
And she had one talking about imagine me on my knees when I get, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you knew what she was saying.
So she actually made women feel good about being nasty in the bedroom, right?
Absolutely.
Without just being raunchy and ratchet, right?
Absolutely. And I think that comes with age and maturity.
But she wasn't naked when she did it, though.
Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely not. But once again, none of them were. But once again, I think we're at a generation, once again, too, we didn't have social media and the need to want to show everybody everything. So it didn't matter if she was naked.
That made you, honestly, it made you a hoe. If you was out here in a mini skirt and showing up all your body, you was a hoe.
And guess what? And because I didn't have a Facebook showing me anything different.
Right.
Your community wasn't doing that.
Absolutely. So that's what you knew. But now it's like, okay, because you had the raunchy videos growing up in the 90s or whatever. You had Luke and all that.
Uncut was the shit. Tip drill was my shit.
When he slapped the thing down the lady's
booty. Shout to Nelly, man. And you OC for what you just did, too.
I hated that, right?
So
he's so OC.
That is just burned in the psyche of everybody.
Uncut. Tip drill.
No,
absolutely.
I hated that.
No panties on the dance floor.
Yeah, all of those, right? Those. But once again,
I wasn't really watching that.
Those women were.
I was.
Those women were like, these are video vixens. These are not, But now you pick up your phone.
Everybody's a video vixen.
You know what I'm saying?
Video Frizz.
Video Frizz is doing the
You put out a hug. I didn't know you was around.
You got your ass out
here. Now it's like, it becomes like, I got to keep up now.
Right.
You didn't want to keep up with, because it seemed like the video was far removed from your everyday life. Right. But now you can get on these apps, you can get on, and you can follow everyday people who are doing the same things. And so now you feel that pressure to have to keep up with the times, right? And so, I mean, just to think, to talk about like Jasmine and Hotels, loved it.
I did too. It was a great album. Like,
I loved it. Fellow Aries again.
Direct.
Something about y'all Aries. Huh?
Yeah. We tell the truth. Her, Summer Walker, Ari Lennox, all Aries women.
Really? That explains so much.
So here's my question. Here's my question.
That's me dropping my phone.
Right. Before we wrap, because this is interesting to me.
Okay.
My oldest child, right? My baby, my fucking daughter. She's a fucking Aries.
We burn for life.
Yeah.
Right? We a special kind.
Now, I'm a Cancer, and I'm not into the whole astrology shit, right?
Though.
What? That's good.
That can be.
But what I'm saying is, what you're saying to me is now resonating because she's going to do exactly what she wants to do.
Oh, absolutely.
When she wants to do it. And she's fucking honest.
And if you tell her what to do, she's going to do the opposite.
Facts.
There's a phrase I found in some random astrology something somewhere that said, you have to recognize that Aries is a fire sign. And it's like the truest of the fire signs. So when you have a fire blazing in front of you, the more you try and put it out, the bigger the fire gets. The only way to deal with a fire that's burning in front of you is to stand back, quarantine anything else from getting burnt down in its process, and let it fizzle out. And when it fizzles out, what I've learned. So my daughter's 20.
So good, right? Very good. That was a great description.
No, so it makes sense, right? But what I've done now, I'm listening to her.
Yeah.
Which allows the fire to subside.
Absolutely. And affirm her.
Yep.
Yes.
From afar.
Yeah.
Back here.
Words of affirmation are important because we're so creative and because our best qualities are us being brave and courageous and, having that leadership. We're the initiators, right? And so I tell people this is why what I do looks so crazy because there is no blueprint.
Right.
Because I'm the initiator.
I'm not
I'm not following
Yeah.
anybody, right? I'm not necessarily following a trend. I'm creating something from scratch. So when you always, right? I'm always
I love that.
And so it's like when I'm doing that, of course I'm in my head because I don't really have. So like, Terrence, like if you come in hard and hot, that's going to make me shut down my fire going. So it's like come in like, okay, I hear you. Maybe look at, what I'm saying? So affirming good push. And we love to spar. And I think
she goes.
Yeah, people
goes.
And our sparring, I love a good sparrer who doesn't take it personal. Who I can kind of be like,
hit you in the mouth. It's gonna hurt a little bit, but it's cool though. We definitely good.
Like now with
I
me,
love
that's
you,
the other
Kayla.
thing I found with, I've attracted some really good people who can deal with that part of my personality now. As I develop into moving things and growing and scaling, male and female. One is a Cancer female, and I have a Taurus, one of my Taurus kings who's good. He like, oh, we arguing? I didn't know that's what he was doing. Like I'd be like, no. Because he like, oh, I didn't know this was an argument. I'd be like, yes, it is, but just till I get my point.
And then we done.
And then and then we done. And
heard what I said.
Right. So that's the good part with that. That's how we get it out. That's how we know what's next for us. We need to spar sometimes. We need good energy to like push back and say, no, well, why would you? You like, well, because I want, and so
I've seen that same. I will burn this whole shit down person. Just come in the house one day and just be like, please, I just want to cuddle up on the couch.
Yep, that's us.
Quiet. You know what?
That's us. And because we know we are such strong creators, that's one of the things I had. When 2020 hit. And the shit hit the fan, and I had to sit down. That's why it was so important for me to sit down, was because an angry Aries is extremely destructive.
Facts.
And so I was like, I will burn this bit down.
What's the X-Men? Phoenix?
Phoenix.
The one that she be having.
Rising Phoenix.
She
like
Rising Phoenix to quarantine herself.
Yeah.
She went to the moon.
But you don't know anything about Marvel or anything. Like, why do you know that?
Yeah,
make believe.
No, I said I'm not a stan.
How about this though?
I love Marvel.
I'm not a stan.
You've endeavored in several ventures, right? And this is really quick, you know what I'm saying? And people, when they see you, when you sell an venture, an idea, they see you, how you present yourself.
Yes.
That's half the deal right there, So you have to have a sense of fashion. I saw you today. I say, hey, you know what? First of all, I heard you before I saw you. I heard the click, click, click.
You heard the heels.
I said, okay.
That boy, radar.
This must be Reese coming. All right, cool. You've been able to change with the times, obviously, to still keep people's attention, There's an old myth about leopard print. Have you ever heard that before?
I have not.
No.
Okay, how about this? All right.
Okay, here we go. I guess we're about to hear it now.
I'm going to be as PC as possible, okay?
A corner.
After a certain age, I'm not exposing anybody's age, they say the leopard print tells you that there are levels to the bedroom game.
Interesting.
Okay, so McKinney's glasses are leopard print, or maybe Tyler. I don't know.
What's funny is I knew that was going to come. That's why I'm like, well, let me jump ahead of this first.
You know what I'm saying? But the leopard print hat, first of all, explain the ensemble.
Well, actually,
I was going to say, because the ring situation low key is.
Yeah, that's right. That's right in Kennedy bag, too.
These are my protection stones, right? So
Stop
these
at the hat, okay? We're going to get different question for the hat, okay?
Okay, so
and everything else.
Yeah, so these are just, these are my protection stones. I can't get it out. This is obsidian and carnelian. Our obsidian is good to like protect from negative energy. It's almost kind of like my little evil eye kind of stone. Protect. Okay. And it's good for grounding. That good root chakra grounds you.
Recognize the artist. Is it
No, I
Lucky Day.
I know who you can.
No,
it's not. It's not K-Fly. It's not K-Fly. It's the other sister, right? I actually get these from when I go to Georgia. There's a shop that I go when I go.
I got to put you into my mom. My mom does the same thing.
Yeah,
she's
and so
dope as shit.
Carnelian is good for. I believe this is the sacral chakra, which is good for like creativity, sex drive. Maybe that's mentioned with the hat. You know what I'm saying?
Answer given.
The sacral is like here.
No, that's just like here, right below.
Oh, yep, right.
Yeah. So those are that, and then I have my beads on, and then of course my trusty. I put a little bling. I love rose gold.
Watch.
Yeah, my Apple Watch. And then, I was like, okay, I'm going to the corner. It's called the corner Convo. Right. I said, so I don't want to be too dressed up. But to your point, I have to still look the part. You can't be talking about you a kingmaker and you look like you need to be made over. So
okay, I feel that.
So, that. So now as far as the leopard print.
That's interesting.
And the hat, that's interesting. I do have a cousin that's funny, that's 60. Like, because I hope if you watch this, you won't be mad. She. Well, I will say she doesn't leave the house without something leopard print every day.
Okay,
she's happy, I'm sure,
and she's extremely happy. Yeah. Extremely happy. She just got married, and got to do.
Well, he's happy.
And he's happy.
Yeah.
So.
It takes a certain confidence.
Shout out to you, cuz. Shout out to you, cuz. Good job.
Let me wrap it up, I guess, with this point. I will say, I was having a conversation the other day, and I'm going to probably get in trouble for sharing this, but whatever.
Black History Month, John Lewis said, get trouble.
This is who I am.
Let's go.
I love it.
Right, the evolution of Reese. And so I was teasing with someone, and they were like, and I'm like, no, you want to be a good guy. I respect that. I'm never gonna cross lines if we was kind of having a little banter, right? A little flirt banter. And I was like, no, you dating. You say you want to be a good guy.
Oh, okay. You was stalking him.
You don't want these problems.
You was stalking him. Okay.
Well, so
I know this conversation already. I know this conversation very well.
Aggressive, aren't we? Okay.
So I was like, no, I'm not. I'm never gonna. He was like, yeah, because something about slipping up, right?
Black men don't cheat.
Yeah, he was like, and he was like, and you don't want to slip up. I said, no, I don't have to worry about slipping up. I'm not in a relationship. No, you have to worry about slipping up or whatever. So he was like, I'm like, but we're not gonna do that. I said, because I honor kings. I honor that's not who I am.
Man. That's respectable,
right? So he was like, but if I want to, you gonna slip up? I said, nah. I said, let me tell you what I said. This is a little blunt, but I said, nah, this not slip and fall, cat. This is write deeds and sign deeds and life insurance, cat. I'm sorry. This season,
right?
I'm like, that's
not the life insurance. Not the life insurance.
Fall, you know what I'm saying?
You might not make it out.
Man, this the Erica Badu. Like, this what we at. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, this ain't the signing no birth certificate, cat. You know what I'm saying? We passed that. I'm signing deeds and life insurance policies.
I think that's real though, right? Like you do, I think even as men, like I don't have no kids. And so it'd be like sometimes, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, all right.
I told you I won Trojan Man of the Year like 10 years in a row. Literally, they tracked how many condoms I bought, how many days a week. They was like, this man's running the record. Like,
yeah.
You had the ultra thin sheepskin.
But no, those are a little bit more risky. That's how you end up losing the championship. Right. End up with 5 children. But no. But my point being that like you get to a certain point, it's like, yo, you do have to protect what you do know you have.
Absolutely.
Right? And so it's like whatever it may be, sexual prowess aside, it's just like I'm in a space at a certain age where it's like, yeah, man, just having a night where you just like, oh, I feel some kind of way. Yeah, I just feel some kind of way. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, have some coffee, and go about my goddamn
I'm gonna be good.
So like my father says all the time, man, we went on this crazy fishing trip.
You fish, bro?
With my father, yes, but not in real life, right? And no,
not in real life.
Not in real life.
It does not happen.
No, we were out in Canada, man. It was a crazy story. But anyway, we out there fishing. I mean, catching all kind of shit. And
what?
Yeah, I knew I was coming too. Don't worry about it. And it was me, my brother, and my father, right? And we were just having some man conversation, right? Some king shit. Mm-hmm. And he said, "Man, listen here, sons. Everybody does not deserve the nectar of the gods."
Facts.
Right?
Agreed.
And like I'm way grown.
You didn't listen, huh?
No, this is
what's nectar?
This is after my children and everything. But he in that moment thought he was teaching us something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was, but it was like way too late because me and my brother already have kids, right?
So what was he really saying then? Y'all fucked up?
Nectar. Right. You know what I mean? But anyway, man, I just think that's dope. Like, I love what you do. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Can you tell people where they can find you at your socials and everything?
Absolutely. So you can find us at the Kingmaker Concierge. That's the Kingmaker Concierge.
You might have to spell that because a lot of people.
Lord. Okay. So I know y'all know how to spell the King and Maker. Okay. CONCIERGE. All right. CONCIERGE.com. Okay.
All platforms?
All platforms. If you go to Instagram, if you go to Facebook, the Kingmaker Concierge.
You see us on the street?
Yeah, you'll see the Kingmaker. So come check us out. We have a event. I don't know if it'll air in time, but our Kings Club is every third Friday of the month. Okay. We do like kind of like invite only. So if you're not a member, you can pay to come, and check us out and kick it with the Kings or whatever for a little bit.
Get access to the experience.
Yeah, kind of get the experience and see. So we do have one coming up this third Friday where we're actually having 2 of our members who are building businesses with their wives. They're going to be kind of the feature. Yeah, so it's called Black Couples Making Black History. Yeah, so we're going to feature 2 of our members to kind of talk about that type of dynamic.
That's a crazy dynamic, right?
It is a crazy
being
dynamic.
married, it's crazy.
Before we go, I was going to say that to the point. I know, Valentine's Day is coming up. Women should not feel threatened about having, their husbands participate in this. And that's what I wanted to point out, too. It's just like, and we can be honest. You married, I would assume. I ain't never been there. But you married, I'm assuming that at some point, you're like, I don't feel like doing this shit. So go ahead, let somebody else do that for you.
I would think that, too.
But what I also mean is that you all do a very, very good job of like making a clear conversation about how to make that person better in his relationship. It's certainly not like this is an escape from your girl. This is how you get away from your girl.
And if it is, it is. But
it's not. That's not what you all are trying to promote.
Absolutely. And I know we're wrapping up, but I tell for women who feel away, I'm like, you know your husband better than I do. You know what kind of man he is.
Right.
So if you worried about him come over here, right.
You was worried.
You was worried before. You know what I'm saying?
You married him and the streets.
Facts. So it's no need for you to be worrying about, because you only worry because you know the type of man he is. Do you know what I'm saying? But once again, like I say, I keep it 100. Real quick, I had a king tell me, he was like, now that you've done it, he said, you the queen. Everybody want to know, everybody trying to see now who's going to be the first to take the queen down. I said, oh, really? I said, interesting. Yeah. So you know when you come. Yeah. So it's like.
And now you got 7 dudes standing there like, yeah, come on, fam.
And not to make it so, but it's like, yeah, I want to be the one who's like, man, People, they can either take it. Men can take it two ways. Like
One way or
I betted
another,
her, or like I want to be her man. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like I want to be the one to be like I won the prize.
I mean, your resume speaks for itself, right?
Yeah.
And you're out of a relationship, as you said earlier.
Yep.
I understand why men would be attracted to you, right? I get it.
I said I get it.
No, I super do, right? And I'm about to go somewhere real quick. How do you avoid those trap holes of men?
Oh, that's a good question.
Women in the trap house?
Yeah. You know what? Once again,
because if you're honoring kings, right?
Yeah.
Right. These are men that have their shit together.
Okay.
Yes.
In layman's terms, right?
And powerful men with money have expectations. I will tell you that.
Sure.
They have expectations to be catered to and treated a certain way. I try to create that vibe. And actually, I wanted to do it a lot more than I've kind of pulled away from, because I kind of felt like what McKenday was saying. I didn't want wives or people to start feeling a way about it. Because literally King's Club is supposed to be that. It's supposed to be beautiful women serving you, making sure you're good while you guys are doing, having men time, and the women are there to look good, be beautiful, and to serve you, right? And I don't have an issue with that. I enjoy it.
That's dope.
But I didn't want people to start feeling like, oh, she fixing my man.
Yeah, it's not a brothel.
Simple-minded people.
Exactly. But the way I kind of have pushed back is just really being direct. It helped me get my chops together once again to have more direct communication. So a guy will be like, let's meet for coffee, and I just won't. Because I already know, you know what I'm saying? Then he'll come back and they'll say something that's business, and I'll answer. And then they'll be like, so you don't like coffee? I'm like, no, coffee cool, but unless
send that invoice. You know what I mean?
With a Starbucks gift card.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. I get it. It's a tough job that you do. And thank you for what you do.
For sure, man. Let's celebrate real talk.
Thank you.
Before you hit the final button, man, I just do have to say this. Obviously, I wasn't here last week, and that is because we lost my uncle. And he was a very, 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 very incredibly special person to me. He's my mother's youngest brother. And what's really interesting about this particular space in this moment right now is that he had been planning a podcast for Black History Month. And he had came up with this concept where he was going to do like trivia, and he had like called my nieces and called all the family members, and he was like, yo, I want y'all to be a part of the thing. And he had watched our podcast some time ago, right? And we talked a lot. He was out in LA, but not a lot, but when we did talk, it was like long conversation. And I remember he was just like, he was a really excited guy, real theatrical dude, a lot of energy.
And y'all look like twins.
Yeah,
right?
I'll put the picture up. But he was just like, man, nephew, man. Man, I see what you doing, man. I just really see what you doing, man. So, and he was a younger kind of cool uncle, too. He wasn't like the old guy. But anyway, just got to say, man, for all of my family, for everybody that reached out, everybody that said, sent condolences, man, we really, 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 really appreciate it. And Uncle Rob, man, you live forever through us, man. So
absolutely,
thank you very much for coming. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for having me.
This has been a vibe.
Great episode.
We definitely come back. I want to talk about what's the boy that
we are now trapped.
We on the corner.
We did a King's Club with Kevin.
That's dope.
I let women come.
Corner.